welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're back today. We're playing more One Ring. We're continuing our Forging of Shadow campaign. We're using 2nd edition with Free League, and we're all dressed up and ready to go. If you watched episode 1, thank you so much for sticking around for episode 2. And I have been told that I should do more calls to action. So if you wouldn't mind hitting that little like subscribe or follow or like or comment thing, just to get this out there, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. And with that, how's everybody doing? Ashley, wardrobe change already. How we doing?
Yeah, it's several pounds lighter on my face. I don't know how men deal with this frequently, but you know, I appreciate your tenacity. Yeah. But it's,
I compensate by shaving the top so that I've still got the same amount of hair.
It is. Yeah.
It's just pulling down from below instead of from up top.
I've never really had that thick a beard though. I keep mine pretty tight. Just
I feel
way too hot out here.
Yeah, I'm giving a little bit of Hagrid vibes today.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. If we lived somewhere cold, I probably would have a much thicker beard. But it's way too hot to have something that right. Right, Steven? You've never had a thick beard, right? You never had a really long. Thick,
I've never had a thick
beard.
beard in a cold environment. It always tends to happen during the summer.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Like, I grew my hair out too when it was like getting hot, and I grew my beard out when it was getting hot. Like, why do I do this? But then again, I don't really have many options as I live in the desert. So there's that. Anyhow, how do we feel about episode 1? We feeling we like where we started? Do we like characters? Do we like the hook? We happy with everything so far? You could say no.
Oh yeah, it felt good.
Absolutely.
Well, there's a thought that stuck in my mind after Ashley said awful. Hagrid, the Harry Potter versus. Or a crossover with Lord of the Rings. I just keep thinking, like, Frodo, you're a wizard.
Yeah, except Frodo, he's not a wizard.
That's
really.
Funny.
Yeah,
but
okay,
funny to think about. I was very excited and just re-listened to the whole first thing this morning just to have it fresh in the mind.
Nice.
Well, that's a good idea.
You sure we don't we got it out of our system, the excitement of getting back, and now we're like, okay, we're good. We don't need to do a long campaign. We can just do 5-6 eps, bail on this, go something different. I've got 2 beards,
Jeff. I need to get some right out of this.
You could use it in the next game too. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
I am here for more of Long's.
Ashley's bearded for life.
No.
Yeah.
Long's crossing. Are we really crossing until we've crossed and crossed back again?
Oh, God. My riddle.
I chuckled at that,
oh my God, in
the re-listen.
I was thinking about that too. I'm like, oh my God, classic Log. Playing an elf. Doesn't really understand what going to the West feels like. I'm like, ooh, hey, man, that's great. It's great. Like we said, I had immediately said before that when we were recording, like, just chill. Don't worry about it. Have fun. We're going to get mistakes all the time. And then Long perfectly exemplifies it. It was great. Nice job there. Well done.
We're here to have fun.
No, for sure. Like, I don't care if we get stuff right. All right. Any questions? Anything we want to do a little differently? Anything on anyone's mind? I'm stalling, basically. Stalling for time.
What are we stalling for? Is there like a guest coming or something? Like what?
All right, everybody. I want to welcome Christopher No, I don't think.
Oh man.
That would be so awesome.
I'd be so mad at you if you let me meet someone important with no makeup on.
Dude, if someone from the Tolkien estate was watching our stuff, was like, man, these people know what they're doing. This is great. Maybe they should work with Stephen Colbert on that new show. And I'm like, what? Okay, I'll do that. No problem. And then it's no, not you. We want the elf guy. He was really thinking outside the box. Oh, goodness.
That's amazing. I'm very excited to be back to this. And I was super glad to see all of the comments on YouTube of people that were also happy to see us back in Middle-earth again. And thank you for all of that love. It was
look at you.
Really good.
Look at you. Stephen has been the source of this for the past few days. I have been watching various numbers between both our new Wandering game and our Coriolis game, and I've been doing my own little comparison to see which is going to win. And I say whichever one gets higher is going to be the flagship, and then the other one, screw them. They're just second-rate stuff. So
oh goodness,
be careful, y'all. It's super close, and Coriolis has got the win in several metrics. So I'm just saying, pretty soon we're just going to downgrade this. No one's going to have on cosplay anymore. Not going to use any music. It's going to be great. We're just going to be like, I don't know. You guys fight some orcs. The end. Okay. Yeah.
We're gonna like turn a corner and we're gonna find like a drive-through and we're gonna grab some like Whoppers and some
Dungeons,
Starbucks.
diners, and drives. Okay.
We'll find out where the elves actually sail to.
Yeah. You guys hop on a boat. Let's just head west. Yeah. And you get out there and it's really just like Hawaii. Here. You see some elves just putting some blaze on you as you get off the boat. It's gonna be great. There's like a luau. I don't know. Anyhow, like we said, you need any help, Stephen Colbert, on that new project of yours, you just let us know. So let us know. Okay.
We're here for you.
All right. Okay. Are we ready to go? Enough wasting time. Last time around, let's do a quick summary so everyone is prepared. So we started up again. It's 2965 to the Third Age, standard year for Wandering Second Edition. Spring has come. That's where we started, and with it was the promise of increased travel across the Vale of Anduin, which is where we start our campaign, in various lands under the protection of Bjorn. Medwin, who Stephen plays here, is one of Bjorn's followers, and we started with him visiting his chieftain's hall and bringing along various friends, Sin, Agda, Edda, the three dwarves, and then we've got the elf CALVAIN that Long is playing. There's some awkward introductions at first, but you all were there to basically ask permission of Bjorn to do a crossing of the Anduin, pay the toll, that kind of thing, and also kind of get some information. Maybe have they seen Sin's brother Vidar, because Vidar disappeared a few weeks ago from Erebor, and rumors that you all had managed to collect back in Erebor before our campaign started suggested that he was traveling with an old dwarven smith by the name of Njal, who's from the Iron Hills, and their destination is apparently Moria, because Njal is looking to uncover these old smithing techniques and metallurgy techniques that were lost in the fall of Khazad-dûm. King Dane, normally you're not allowed to do this. This isn't a thing. Like, dwarves aren't supposed to go there. Anyone taking treasures from the halls of Moria is basically theft. But King Dane, as you learned, maybe gave her special permission, but with the kind of a caveat that they would need to bring some warriors to make sure everything's safe. She, being an old woman, didn't do this. She was stubborn, and she only brought Vidar. So you told Bjorn this story. He got a little touched by it. And eventually he allowed you all to cross, no issues. But he did instruct Medwin to be very mindful of what you do in the Anduin and what potential dangers and troubles you might bring back on the lands of Bjorn. Now, he also told you that he was not aware of any dwarves passing through, which is kind of strange because this is the main thoroughfare. This is the way they would go. But did direct you to go down to the old ford, where you can speak with an Elda Spear Maiden, who is one of the Thanes who's like on guard there, and also the Hall of the Crossing, where you can speak with Gelvira Potster, who's a kind of a local homestead. So you went there, you did some chatting. You also encountered these two human peddlers that were apparently heading for Lake Town. Medwin, you saw some jewels and some runic crafts in the back of their cart, but they were very tight-lipped, defensive a little bit. When you started to ask them questions about how they acquired these wares. Eventually, you all made the crossing. You got to the western bank, and you began this journey southward. And you were looking for signs of the riverfolk barge, because you had learned from the two folks at the Hall of the Crossing and at the ford that a riverfolk barge had come through like about 10 days or so, and there were two dwarves on that barge. So instead of actually crossing the lands, they were taking a river boat down effectively. But you were also looking out for some wargs, because apparently there's been increased warg activity in the lands, and two young Bjorning hunters were out there kind of hunting them, trying to get their Thane badges, so to speak. So you traveled for a bit, some rains fell, Agda, Edda, you were kind of doing some lookout stuff, and eventually you came across this ancient watchtower in the rain, and Edda, you had this moment where you didn't see a ruined watchtower of old that was barely recognizable and distinguished from a hill. You saw some old tower, some actual tower, functional with lights, like a torchlight up above and voices coming from inside. But you also banged your head as you were crossing the old fort. So eventually that faded, and you were able to rejoin the company without issue. You continued, headed south, and you made it to the Gladden Fields. And these are marshes that very heavily slowed you down. And then eventually you started getting, not that you realize this, but you started getting stalked by a pack of wargs. And it looked like they were about to spring an ambush on you. There was a sharp whistle and this bellowing horn, and you saw an older man, middle-aged man, human, standing on the southern bank of the Gladden River, and it kind of scared away the wargs, or at least deterred them from actually ambushing you. And he beckoned you across, helped you across, spotted out these little black spots in the river that don't put your feet in those. And he named himself Arcinius, and he brought you to his home, a home that apparently is here in the Gladden Fields. And that is, that's where we left off. So we're ready to get going? Think we're good? All right, let me get a little, see what I want to do here for some music. We want to do happy music? Do we want to do scary music? I don't know.
Definitely not a scary situation. That wouldn't fit the narrative at all.
You ever been into an old man's house who's been living all by himself out in the middle of nowhere? I'm just saying, that's a scary sight. Okay, so we see you all outside of a home, within this almost like a circle of thorn trees. Like you see this grove of thorn trees, not unlike some of which you saw around the home of Bjorn, but these the foliage isn't as thick. They're more wiry, and you were led through them safely. And then you had to push through this thick haze of mist, of smoke, of fog that had a strange scent to it. And you can see as you're walking up and the doors being swung open, that there are these chimneys that are sticking up out of the rooftop, pumping some kind of smoke into the sky, which then swirls with this ever-present mist that seems to be permeating around the marshes. He turns towards you all. He beckons you inside. Does anyone hesitate, or do you all follow him in?
Medwin would be happy to follow him right in.
Okay. Anyone else?
Agda will be right behind.
Inviting us.
Of course. Come on, come inside. It's looks like rain this evening, so we'll probably want to be inside as fast as we can. And he's sitting there, and you could see he's beading with sweat a little bit. He's decently tall. He's got some dark hair, but it's receding a bit at the top of the forehead. He's not an ancient man, but he's certainly probably beyond middle age. And he's got largely robes and leathers and things on him, and a pouch or two. And he's got this belt with these little different tools and things dangling from them, including that horn that you heard him blow. But he shuffles inside, and for those that follow, you come inside and you can see suddenly it's kind of quiet in here, as you don't really hear the sounds of everything outside, the insects, the sounds of the bubbling waters here and there in the marshes, because there's these very thick, stout stone walls that seems to muffle everything as this heavy, thick wooden door closes. The ground, this is a ground floor, as you see a set of stairs go up to a second floor. It's warm as you step inside. It's well lit. You can see that there is a fireplace that's going. There's off to the left, there is this kitchen that you can see where all sorts of pots have been stacked up here and there. Dried herb bundles are hanging from the ceiling. And there's the smell of something in here, like it's been long simmering. Beyond it, you can see a little divider with some kind of stocked pantry. And around the corner from the kitchen, there is this little tidy workshop with all sorts of tools and things, very, very carefully organized, pouches and such, very clean tools. And in the sort of this main area, there's a couple chairs, but it's clearly a home not for a great deal of people. But you see him hustling over towards the workshop and bringing out a stool and kind of moving some things, clearing some reading materials off what looks like a more plush chair. And he's like, "Oh yeah, come in, make yourselves at home. Yes, take a load off here, and don't worry at all about that." As he points to the dwarves who are getting tons of mud it's fine. It's occupational hazard, so to speak. Now, is anybody hungry? Perhaps?
Absolutely. I would love a bite to eat. And what a grand home you have. Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, thank you for your hospitality.
Oh, well, not at all. It's not very often I am able to host. and in fact, this is the only time I have hosted. I haven't been here for very long, but it's the first
Have you
house
not?
guests.
You seem to be able to manage the elements quite well. Your home is able to keep the noises out, and you had that horn to get the wargs away. You seem like somebody who knows the land very well.
Oh, well, I thank you very much for that. That's very kind of you to say. I am very grateful to have, to have this home over my head. This is not the most receptive of places in the world. Fine construction. I can't take the credit for it, of course. I did not build it. However, it was gifted to me of sorts. And as for the horn itself, well, that's a different story. And he holds it up, and I would say, CALVAIN, you can probably recognize it, as it does have like the markings of like Gondor to it. And he says, yes, I spent many a year serving in the houses of the healing, Minas Tirith, and, well, this particular soldier once I helped, who was very grateful for my services. He gifted this to me. Normally it's reserved for folks of much greater esteem than I. I'm just a mere healer, herbalist of sorts, naturalist. But, yes. But yes, I am accustomed to being in the field. I have made sure of it. When I was a younger man, first starting my studies, we had an herb master in Minas Tirith, Castamere. He was very book oriented. You see, he was quite brilliant, catalogued basically every plant in the history, lore of Gondor, but he never actually applied a single post in his life, or even left the city itself. And I saw to myself that I wouldn't do this. That scholarship that's divorced from practice is it's pure decoration. And I committed then to being a man of the earth. So I learned not from just books and scrolls, but also from experience. And that is why I am here. Yes. What of you? As I said, I don't get many travelers here. 3 dwarves, a woodman, perhaps, and an elf.
Bjorning.
Bjorning. Oh, wonderful. I've heard many tales about Bjorn. To the north, I believe. Yes.
He's a wise and powerful chieftain. We're very fortunate to have his protection.
Well, the Vales, so his reputation precedes him, or essentially his country, truly. I'm sorry to be such a pry, but I have heard various tellings of what happened at the Lonely Mountain so many years ago. A dragon slain, a king under the mountain restored and such, but I've heard tellings that Bjorn himself was instrumental in turning the tide. Some said
Indeed,
that
he was. Would you like me to tell you the tale?
I would be most delighted, sir. Yes, and while you're doing this, he's like pouring out tea and stuff like that too. And yes, very much so.
So, there was a small cadre of dwarves who were infiltrating the Lonely Mountain, seeking to slay the dragon in revenge for past sins that the dragon committed to their clan.
Yes. Smaug, I believe, is the name. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds right, yes. And these dwarves, they were not good people. They were stealing the treasure instead of actually trying to slay the dragon, iring the dragon, making him angry, and he wished to take the anger out on the people of Laketown and the woodmen nearby, but Bjorning himself came and he fought the dragon one-on-one. He turned into a massive bear, bigger than the dragon, and he was able to defeat the dragon by ripping its scales and pulling its heart out with his massive bear claws.
This whole time he's like pouring tea, and every now and then he almost spills. Oh, beg your pardon. As big as a bear, as big as a dragon. I've never seen a dragon, of course, but I've seen them describe a bear. Wow. Well, that is quite a feat.
The battle between the dragon and the bear was so fierce that it drew an army of orcs that came to take advantage of all the destruction that was left in their path. And Bjorn, though he was weakened and exhausted from defeating Smaug, was it? Yeah, Smaug. From defeating this dragon. Yeah, this sounds right. He was so exhausted and tired and wounded from defeating this dragon, but he remained in his bear form, and he defeated the 5 armies of wargs and orcs that came to swarm upon him. And that's why they call it the Battle of 5 Armies.
I see. Well, I shall make a proper annotation, of course. As I said, I'm not as up to speed on various stories here. It's northern sections of Anduin. I've spent such time to the south, but I have heard the name Bjorn. I've met with many travelers and traders and such. I would be most interested in speaking with Bjorn. Now, I am known to the woodmen at Woodland Hall and Rosegabel. If they can speak of my of who I am, they can testify to my good intentions. The river folk as well. Yeah.
Would be more than happy to introduce you to Bjorn. He and I are very close personal friends. However, I should warn you that Bjorn is a man of few words, or a Bjorn of few. He is a man. He's a shape changer. So I don't know if he counts as man or not. A shape changer. Indeed, he turns into bears bigger than dragons. I've not actually seen him do it yet. He only does it on occasion. But if you would like to hear more details, I believe my friend CALVAIN here is of the Mirkwood realm, and they were witnesses to some of the event. I believe that you have archives and lore of it.
Master CALVAIN, yes.
Yes, we keep lots of that. I could retell some of it over this tea. I could tell you're quite a fine noblesman.
Does it meet to your liking, sir? I must confess, I have not had much opportunity to engage with elvish folk in my years, neither those in the Mirkwood or those in Lorien. I would imagine your people so long-lived that you are that. Do your kin still speak of when the forest, the great forest to the east, it's not called Mirkwood, Greenwood? Yes. Do you still speak of it? Do you remember it? I'm sorry, I'm being quite rude. I essentially just asked you how old you were, and I know, at least in certain company, that is a very offensive thing to do. I mean no offense, of course.
Of course we do. We still recount some stories. We should restore it to that. But since the shadow has been acting up around.
Yes. Give me a lore test, Long. We'll see. Let's see what CALVAIN does know. And depending on how well you do, I can give you some stuff if you want to flaunt your knowledge here.
Well, that's happening.
You get sorry to back up my story.
Oh.
Let's see, I am favored in this, so decent chances.
Why is rolling that? What are you saying, Melissa?
I was just saying, while this kind of pleasant conversation is happening, you see Agda has found some type of wooden box or something close to the front door and is just stamping mud out and just doing the rubbing the bottom of the boot on the corner of the box kind of a thing, and just stamping and just, they just went through mucky marsh, and so that's just what you hear in the background. It's just constant stomping and kind of gruff.
Yeah. There's all sorts of boxes and crates and things, some filled with you can see things that he has dug up, like chunks of mud. Some of it's hardened because it's been sitting. Some of it looks like food, like maybe tubers, roots, and herbs and things. Others just look like rocks or various other shiny things. Like this is a guy who's been essentially tilling the river in some ways. And he'll once or twice will look over and says, "Oh yes, pay no mind with that. That's fine. I will clean it up later. Yeah, no worries. How'd you do, CALVAIN?
Sorry, came peeking through, but the favored made it a great success.
A great success. Okay, so, yeah, I'll give you a few things, and this is stuff that CALVAIN would know. I know that this is stuff that you could know, and you're welcome to share it however you want. But you would know that Greenwood, it's been a couple thousand years basically since it's been truly called that. It's mostly been the Mirkwood. Shadow fell upon it. Various evil things started to multiply. It didn't really happen all at once per se, but it kind of creeped and changed over the generations, and things slowly started to dim. So spiders started to appear. Then there was the Great Plague and all sorts of other things. Now, with your great success, you're a fairly young elf by elven standards, but you would know some things both within your lifetime and just from what you've heard from your elders. You would know that much of the source of this shadow is from Dol Guldur, which is built on this hill in the south, the southern parts of the forest called Amon Lonk, which is, and it was there was a sorcerer not many years ago, in fact, that had established himself there. They called himself the Necromancer for a very long time. And for a great deal of time, no one really knew who the Necromancer was, but eventually their actual identity was revealed to the wise, Gandalf, etc., and as Sauron. And so as somebody who might be scholarly, who might have connections, you would probably know. You wouldn't really feel probably comfortable saying the name Sauron here, but you might say the enemy or something like that. And that's about 20 years ago is when the White Council drove out the Necromancer from Dol Guldur, but the darkness is still here. It's not fully gone, and it also feels like in some ways things are getting worse again.
Right, you ask about the Greenwood. We don't really call it that anymore.
Yes, I'm just curious if do you have memories of it? I imagine it was quite a beautiful thing, a beautiful place, perhaps before. Well, whatever it is, the forces of shadow seems to have sullied it in such a way.
Might have been a bit before my time, but I've heard stories.
Oh, I see. If you're ever care to entertain old man, I would love to be an audience to some of those stories. I don't mean to pry if it is too if it is a painful memory. I don't mean to cause distress, but I'm just so very curious. And as I said, I don't get many visitors.
Not at all. I'm happy to share. And I'll give him a couple details of what happened to the self.
Sure. Yeah, you'll tell him a few things, and maybe you start telling him maybe a little bit about Thranduil, and before that Orifer and various other things that happened, with Doriath and everything. You kind of start getting into these deeper details that we don't necessarily have to cover here. But yeah, and this whole time he's just sitting transfixed and listening. He's just kind of standing, listening. He doesn't really interrupt you. And that's I thank you very much, sir, for sharing that with me. That, as I said, I have not been here in Gladden long, and I have not yet had the extraordinary pleasure to have company with your kin, Mirkwood. I've heard many a troubling tale about the insular nature of those elves who take up Lorien, but I hope perhaps through friendship here, perhaps I might see your realm, so to speak. You might return the favor one day, yes?
Quite the offer there. one day.
Yes, I don't mean to overextend. I apologize. I apologize very much so. Yes. The three dwarfs. Well, that's a very curious company. What brings you here to Gladden? This is not a common place to see dwarves. It is not rocky. This is muddy and wet. If I might inquire.
Yes, we are seeking a sibling of our traveling companion here, and Agda will sort of gesture towards Sin. And Agda, you see, had seen some of those kind of root vegetables, and so once Agda's done kind of like stomping mud off, Agda's going to grab a couple of those and kind of go toward the kitchen and kind of wink to Edda. And is assuming that whatever pot this gentleman had is probably not going to serve all of us. And so she's just going to kind of like slide in and, kind of add to it a little bit while Sin kind of takes over explaining our presence.
So while she's doing that, Sin will kind of toy with a pearl earring that she has on. And we'll say, we are looking for my brother who seems to have my king, our king, King Dane, gave special dispensation to one of our smiths now to visit Moria and get some ancient secrets, and you can tell that she isn't thrilled about any of this, and she was given dispensation to go, and she was also allowed protection that she chose not to use and instead took just my brother, and I have lost my sister-in-law, who was his wife, and, well, this is her earring, actually. We look for him.
I see. That's very troubling. I'm so very sorry. Would that I could help you, I would.
Trying to hold back tears, like she's.
And he's gonna maybe he notices that, and he diplomatically turns to maybe Edda, and he's like, Moria, I have heard that the halls are empty still. Yes, that it's not a place that one is expected to visit.
Yes, I heard a similar thing. I do not know what purpose there is to travel there.
Yeah, so he'll turn to Edda at this point, and do your people often speak of reclaiming it? Is there out of curiosity? I know it is laid dormant for quite some time.
I'm a bit young, so I'm not usually included in those conversations, but one day, once it's not so tainted with memories, maybe.
Yes, we all have our masters to serve, do we not? And sometimes they convey to us only what it is that they want us to know, and other times they keep secrets for themselves. Such is the way of the world, is it not?
Yes. What brings you out here?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mentioned I'm an herbalist, a healer. The Gladden Fields, you see, there are a very curious array of plants in the waterways, and a strange quality of light, to be honest with you, that seems to somehow impact the very system of things. The plants, the weeds, the muck, the water itself. It's so So many things. I personally, I am creating a taxonomy, a catalog, all of the various herbs and plants and things, and I seek to study, catalog all the finds over here. There are many things that grow here that do not grow in the south at all, and a certain number of those have very exquisite uses. Yeah.
It's very fascinating.
Okay, well, it is. Do you too have an interest in naturalism? I would be happy to share some of my finds thus far. And he like wanders over and like he like to where Agda's been like wiping her shoes off because she's got all these chunks of mud, and he's just like pulling out, and he's like showing this thing, and he's like showing that thing, and he's like, very beautiful flower here, yellow iris, yes, wonderful. And then here, this very thick reeds, very strong, almost as strong as leather, and the baskets you could potentially make from this might be water protected and such, and obviously the Athelis plant grows here in kind of abundance compared to many other places that I've traveled where it's only grown very sparsely. Very useful this is. Whenever one studies the healing, of course. Mint is grown in abundance, and I'll add a little bit of that to us too. And meadowsweet, yes, this right here, and then the willow herb, of course. And he's just like constantly like picking up all these different plants and showing you things, and it's quite fascinating. There's it's almost as if there's this old root structure that seems to extend in various directions beneath the water itself. It's not a plant per se, but it seems to the reed beds, you see, the soil is layered with centuries of organic matter, of living things, as one might find at the well, I don't mean to be crass, in an array of graves, perhaps in a barrow, but yes, perhaps it's the old timber, the shrubs. Well, anyhow, it's quite fascinating, you see.
Just layers of history, you could say.
Yes, you could say that indeed. Yes. History is also a hobby of mine. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh,
Speaking of history, you said that you were not the first resident of this home. It was gifted to you. Who gave you such a fine place out here?
Well, that is not entirely accurate. I am the first resident. I said that I was not the one responsible for its construction, you see.
But it was gifted to you.
Yes. It was it's a gift from my from a master to which I currently serve, and it's yes for deeds well done and for promise of delivery of the finds that I discover here as well. He too is greatly interested in what lies in the soil, beneath the water, the fields, the river, etc.
Who was he? Was he anyone we would know of?
Oh, give me a test. He does seem a little hesitant, but you could
maybe insight, or what are you looking for?
Well, I think insight is more about trying to deduce what
I didn't know if you meant
trying
to see what he's doing. Okay.
Yeah. How do you try to pull this out of him?
I would say I'm really not like suspicious of anything. I just am trying to learn more about him. So I would just be sharing my mead made from Bjorning honey, and enheartening.
Wonderful.
Just trying to make everyone pretty happy and jovial.
Okay, take a bonus die if you're specifically bringing some of that honey,
useful item.
Of course. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right. Rolling. Not the. This is okay. Extraordinary success.
Wow, you got there.
Extraordinary success.
The D12s were both 2 and 3, so I wasn't. Yeah.
Well, my current master, who I have served for many years, you could say I am under his tutelage, Saruman of Isengard. Are you familiar?
That is one of the wizards, I believe?
I believe that is a term to which is sometimes ascribed him. Yes. He is not one for mere tricks and such. It's more of a man. He's a scholarly man. Most honestly, very, very brilliant. Knows more about the world and history and herbalism than I probably have forgotten.
When you mentioned the name, my teacup falls out of my lap.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Did I hear that right?
Yes.
He's shifting a bit uncomfortably. Guys, I think we've spent a well amount of time here.
No such thing. And Agda at this point will kind of come over and she'd been kind of furiously kind of working with a knife in the kitchen. And so she's kind of like cooked something up kind of like over the fire. And so she just like plops this plate down in front of him. And it's this very kind of nicely laid out kind of like chopping of kind of different vegetables and whatnot. And she's kind of taken the bowl that he had kind of started with and is like, yes, for everyone. And kind of loudly kind of drops plates down. You've been kind enough to open your home to us, and we will
of course I have
share our crafts with you.
Upstairs to stay, and you guys hear the crack of thunder, so we can keep you warm and dry. Master CALVAIN, have I offended you in some way?
Seem to be a bit ill.
I am a healer. I can't say that I have spent a significant amount of time with caring for your people, but I do know quite a bit. What seems to be troubling you? Is it
just travel fatigue, really?
Well, if that's the case, then if you care to retreat to one of the rooms upstairs, you can have a great night's rest before you continue on your journey in the morning. As I said, yes.
Do you have more of these reeds? And Edda's like totally not paying attention to the situation. She is just kind of mostly like holding some, and she's trying to weave them together. And she tries to pull Arsenius's attention towards her.
Oh, yes, I see. If you, not so much for eating those, I think. Though the roughage, I would imagine, very good, very fibrous. But no. Those are more for construction.
Weaving, like make a basket.
Oh, yes. I see. I thought you were like eating them.
No.
Okay. Well, Master CALVAIN, there are 3 rooms upstairs. One is mine, of course. There's an attached study to it, but the other 2 you are welcome to if you all wish to take a rest. There's plenty of food, drink. Feel free. Yes.
Estin is happily tucking into Agda's food, and will kind of just shove some over to CALVAIN. Like, here, just if you're tired from the road, just have some of her food. You know how well she cooks.
Yeah.
Yes, it's quite lovely. I'll be in my room then.
As like CALVAIN goes upstairs, like he'll look like he has like a kind of a sheepish face, I not often in the company of dwarves. Did I offend your friend? I meant no offense. Did I ask too many questions?
Sure, it's fine.
Of course not.
Do you have and she's got flowers braided in her beard, and like, you're naturalist. Can you help me find some beautiful wildflowers from this area once we're finished?
I have just the thing. One moment, and you see him he hurries off through the kitchen, and you hear him just around the corner in that little workshop, and he comes back and he has like a little basket, and it's got all these like yellow flowers in it. They grow in abundance here. Yeah.
Wonderful. I should take them and start braiding them in her beard.
And he's like, well, they look lovely. How very distinguished.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, these smell beautiful.
Well, yes, once you get some of the grime off, of course, there's many a foul smell within the marshes themselves. A gift from my patron, actually. And he points over to where, like, there is, like, this cauldron thing underneath the, like, in the fireplace. And there's, like, this bag hanging over top of it that's kind of burning and sending this relatively aromatic smoke up. It helps keep the swamp gases, so to speak, out of here. Yeah, it's much more pleasant, you see, and also has the added benefit of addling certain wargs, which by and by have been appearing more and more of late, threatening to interrupt
I have some more. Then we need to go deeper in.
You don't want to burn the irises. No. That's a waste. This is a separate thing that Master Saruman has gifted to me. He said when we agreed to this arrangement that this is it's a very lovely home, but at the same time, it's a very distant outpost. Though I have had wonderful dealings with the woodmen at Woodland Hall and Rosgabel, as I already mentioned, and hopefully, with your introduction, Edwin, I can now have some dealings with Bjornings and the river folk. Yes, I've gone up and down with them. They're very friendly, although guarded people. Where is I going with this? Oh, yes. No. Master Saruman, he did mention that there are dangers, which is why the house has been constructed as it is. Very strong walls, you see, and very strong doors. You're very safe here, and the aroma, and then the thorn trees, of course. All of these keep the wargs at bay and whatnot. But out in the wild, though, it is the trusty, and he like kind of gives a knock with his knuckles on the Gondorian horn. It is not about fighting them; it's about confusing, scaring them, and this gets them to hesitate, you see, and gives them enough time to get away. Got to be smart. What were you talking about? I'm sorry. Miles away.
You mentioned river folk. We are looking for the most recent passage of the Riverfolk barge that came. We've heard rumor that is where Sin's brother perhaps traveled down. Do you often see the camps when they travel south?
Oh, not often, but perhaps a week ago. I did see a barge passing by, and they do have. There is a common post that they dock against. It's about a day from here. They are known to set up shop, engage with various travelers and peddlers and things. Not common, not often, once or twice a season. And usually when they make posts, they're there for about a week or so, enough time to send messengers there and back and things. I'd be happy to take you there. Of course, make an introduction.
Yes, make an introduction is exactly what we were about to ask for. It'd be most helpful. Did you happen to lay eyes yourself on this barge? We'd heard a bit upriver that there were, in fact, two dwarfs on it, and one of them was not faring well with the tides as it were, if you know what I mean.
Well, the mists they were quite heavy that day. The fog was rolling down quite furiously from the mountains and permeating in greater thickness here and there. So
never a good sign when there's mist and fog.
It's very true, sir. Very true. Excellent wisdom there. But I did see the barge itself. So, and they don't travel often. So, more than likely, it's the same barge that you were speaking of. That must be, of course.
This is good tidings now. That we've heard of this now. 2 confirmations of the barge going through. That is good sign. Good sign. We do hope to be reunited. It's such a sad thing with Vidar losing his wife, and now we've lost him, and just quite sad.
Yes.
And she's looking around again in the kitchen, his wife just made the best rhubarb pie, just the best that you could come across, because those, I don't know, some folks like those strawberries, but not me, and she knew I didn't, and just made the most lovely of the pies, and it's quite a sad thing that we won't get any of those more pies from her. Poor soul. Poor soul.
Would you like to say that? But I don't think I have. Well, I do have a few sacks of grains that I have in stock, but no pies per se. Bread, we can make some bread. Yeah. And pies, no pies, no fruit. Mint though, if your food prefer it a little sweeter. And I'm afraid to say that is one delicacy that is not accounted for here, madam. Sir.
I'm not
Agda.
sure we've actually. Yes, Agda. And
I think you guys gave names. At the very least, Medwin gave a name, I think, outside. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Medwin introduced all of us. I will whip you something up for. Thank you for your hospitality. And Agda's
so
just
very
making
kind.
herself at home in this area and finding
you're just like,
something. And
he's like,
Yeah, as you're just kind of pulling things out. There's,
that's quite a large quantity. Oh God.
As this transpires. And you guys hear the thundering as like it does sound like getting through those thick walls. There's like the crack of thunder. It does sound like there is a storm that's starting to pass by overhead. Okay. Is anyone else doing anything?
Edda is really attempting to make him a basket for storing his goods.
If you like to roll a craft test, go ahead and roll craft. And honestly, Agda, you could too if you want to. If both of you want to see how well you bake and basket weave.
I would like to write a song to thank him
Sure.
for this.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, if we want to just do a couple rolls just to see the quality of the things, perhaps. So go ahead and give a song roll, Sin, and then crafts for the other two dwarves. Yeah.
all right.
What about you, Medwin? While they're all the dwarves are suddenly just taking over the home, as they do.
Medwin is telling another story about Bjorn. And it's just completely fanciful, some like story that he heard as a kid, and he has taken to be complete truth.
Okay. Yeah, so and he's listening, but then he's also like looking over his shoulder at the sounds of some clanking going on in the kitchen, and then he hears the thunder and he seems very excited about the storm.
Yes, as I said,
And he's like his attention is being taken in like 3 or 4 different directions. But he turns to you and he's like,
if you could make an introduction, I would be very interested to speak with him about the various troubles, orcs, wargs, various things. Yes, everything seems. Oh goodness, no, that's fine. I can get some more from there.
so how did Agda do? Let's start with you.
Yeah, that is a great success, actually. So all of the mess that is being made, the end result is quite delicious, in fact.
Okay.
And
it's probably more like a savory pie, as I don't think he's got fruit. Yeah. So it could be like a lamb and mint kind of pie or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it was definitely like, he was not thinking that these flavors would go together necessarily. No, and you make do with what you've got. And I can definitely take care of this. And Agda is not cleaning as she goes. This is definitely the like, everything is just getting dusted with, flour and whatever. And then it's a mess.
A mess in the kitchen. Absolutely.
Mess of a mess. But then there you've got it for your hospitality. Just give it a quick blow and cool it down just a little bit, but I think you'll find it good.
And he bit too fast. Oh goodness, it's hot.
I did say blow on it first.
I'm sorry, I'm very distracted. There's many things going on.
But then he blows it down and he takes a bite. Oh,
that's delicious. Oh, very decadent, heavy. That'll fill the belly. That's wonderful. That's very wonderful. Should I bring some to your friend? Would Master, do dwarves eat mutton and mint and pie? Would he care?
We do. I'm not sure he may. Just we'll have a conversation.
Well,
in
he
the
said he
morning,
had a
but
stomach ache anyways. Honestly,
this
that's the
would
most
be a
he's
bit
talked in 3
heavy
days.
for it.
I've heard the ruckus and I had to check it out. Pardon my rudeness earlier, but when I heard Saruman, I had to procure a couple things.
Have you had dealings with my master before?
No, but I've dealings with my masters. They're in the Wise Council together. And I must give you this. A bundle of herbs, since you're an herb master. I'm sure he would love this.
This is very kind of you, Master CALVAIN. Elvish herbs and medicines are, well, there. Well, I can tell you this, we hold them in quite high regard. Every scroll, every bit of instruction I've ever read. Always, yes. Oh, I thank you. Thank you very much. That is very, very kind, sir. Very kind. Yes. If you are hungry, your dwarvish friend made a pie, very heavy and decadent.
Yes, CALVAIN, you must have a slice, and takes a small plate and just, kind of quickly wipes a little bit of kind of flour dust off. Here you go.
Right then. Only a bite.
Okay. Man, I would imagine that, like, eating something as greasy and heavy as, like, mutton and mint pie would do crazy things to an elvish stomach, right? Right? It would destroy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I imagine it is a respectfully small slice, knowing that. We've traveled before. But I do think it's going to be worth giving it a taste. Tell me what you think worked with what we had here. And Agda will cut a bigger
Mint is
slice.
most pronounced.
And she'll walk it over to Edda. I will leave yours over here. I don't think you want to get your hands greasy while you're doing what you're doing. But Sin, when you have a moment, let me know if would Freda have approved of this one? We did make it in her honor, as it were. Kind of looking for Sin's approval.
Freda would have loved this.
Mm-hmm. I know she would have made it so much better, and I know, but you really think?
Oh, but she would have
it?
loved this. You know how she always loved people trying out her recipes.
It's just that is very, very true. She had mentioned this one time, and she kind of looks back to our host and says, I did agree with your thoughts when she first told me that this was going to be a combination of flavors. I really didn't think it was going to be good, but then she made it one time, and it blew me away, and I had to make sure that her memory travels with us. So you may never have known Freda, but now you have met her flavors.
Well, I am honored then, yes.
And he takes like another like bite. Oh, still hot. How did...
Now, Arcadius, I didn't get a chance to tell you about the time the eagles taught Bjorn how to fly.
Eagles, yes. I have seen one of the great eagles flying high overhead. Yes. I had not had the privilege of an up close audience, but I saw one. Yes, off to the west when I was on the western edges of the fields. Your master Bjorn. Yeah,
they taught him to fly. He is a shape changer, but he only changes into bears. But he turned into a bear that was feathered and was able to fly alongside them.
Come now, Midwin. I think you are pulling my leg. As they say.
No, I've heard this story myself.
Roll like a... I don't know. What do you want to do?
Medwin's not actually lying, but it is completely false. He just...
Oh, okay.
He's got 0 lore and 18 wits, so he just accepts
if you're not trying to
these
pull
stories of his hero.
Okay. So he's starting to get it now. I think he's like,
feathers. Well, very curious.
And he like looks to everybody else like,
this Bjorn fella, most impressive. I look forward to an audience with him.
Edda just hands him the salt. Like, doesn't say anything. She just hands him salt. Like, take his stories with a grain of salt, but it's a whole lot of salt.
Thank you.
How did you do on your weaving test, your craft test?
She failed. So you just hear snaps because she didn't soak him at all.
Oh,
And then she'll snap a couple before she gives up. And then she goes and does as what she normally does when Agda cooks. And she follows up and she starts cleaning the kitchen. Usually, actually taking plates from people, throwing them into the wash. And
he's just like looking down at this pile of like busted reeds and like how that was his stockpile.
It's fine.
I'll collect more for you.
Oh, no, you have a much more important task that you have to tend to.
Make sure soak them more. I guess it's too dry. Your lovely
the
fires.
Thunderstorm. Well, fortunate. The rain is falling quite heavily, and I always quite love when it rains here. I know that sounds sort of odd to say that, but many a curious offering are buried here in the fields of Gladden, and storms unearth new things, and would hope ensure that the reeds themselves are probably far more malleable. Yes. Pliable. Yes, perfect. Yes, of course. And he like kind of turns and like stacks them up to the side. And then how did Sin do on her song test?
I got a 21 great success.
Okay. Is it a sad song? Is it a happy song?
No, it's a happy song, and she rhymes Arsenius with mysterious and glorious.
Okay.
I have never been immortalized in lyric before. I don't mean to. My mother gave me the name, and I probably should. Arcinius with a hard. No, never mind. Sinius sounds fine. It sounds certainly fine. Of course, yes.
Okay.
Edda quickly joins in with Sin as she's singing, and then she rallies Agda to also join, and then suddenly it's just very loud and boisterous inside this house.
Okay, and so this merriment continues as the storm crashes overhead. Eventually, probably, you all like retire and split however you feel like splitting. Maybe the dwarves in one room, maybe Medwin and CALVAIN in the other, and he leads you upstairs. It's got a different feel than below. It's very cozy. So there's these bedrooms over here. You can see that he's got his own room, like across like a small hall from you all. There's like and you can see his well kept. He seems very tidy. You do notice that there's like a map like above a desk like that is connected to his study that has this extremely detailed like annotations of this area here and there. He's got it like pinned to the wall itself, and he's got stacks of these leather scroll cases and various other things that are just almost pyramid style, and then like scrolls that have been unfurled, and all sorts of books as well. And then he's got this very fine, extraordinarily fine wardrobe that's set in his room as well. And for the rooms in which you're staying, comfortable beds. They're not extraordinarily spacious, but they far better than where you've been staying on the road or in the wild over the past week. It's taken about a week for you to get down here from where you had left. And so unless there's anything you all wanted to do, we are welcome to move to the morrow, unless there's something you all wanted to do tonight.
I think we have trashed and remade this gentleman's home.
Classic dwarves.
This is totally the Hobbit, like, opening scene with the dwarves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll tear it apart, but we will put it back together.
Yes, we
And
will.
have a ball of a time the whole time.
Medwin or CALVAIN, was there anything else that you all wanted to do before we close down this scene with Arcinius?
I'm good. I think Medwin was just trying to talk his ear off.
Oh yeah, and he was eating it up, honestly. But at a certain point he realized like this was more like fanciful tales, but even fanciful tales are worthy of collection in folklore. It's still a worthwhile tool. Yeah. Okay, so we all finished a journey. So why don't we go ahead and actually, as the night progresses, all of you give me a travel test. As you guys traveled, your journey route was from the old fjord. I keep saying fjord. The old ford near Bjorn's Hall down to Gladden, these fields. And so since we're technically ending a journey, it's a travel test, and if you get a success, we can potentially, and how well you do on that test, you can reduce some of the fatigue that you all accrued. All of you accrued 3 fatigue, and all of you had that shadow point that I think Ashley mentioned it, we hadn't resolved. You had that shadow point just from kind of coming into Gladden and feeling like this sort of strange darkness begin to swirl around you as you wandered through here. So all of you would have had 3 fatigue, but if you succeed at your travel test, you get to reduce that fatigue by 1. If you, and for every bonus success item, so for every 6 on a D6, in addition to that, you can reduce it by another 1. Okay.
I failed my roll.
Okay, so yeah, both of you are still at 3. Same with you, Agda. Looks like Sin got a great success, so Sin, you can reduce yours down to 1. And then how'd you do, Edda?
I got an auto success, so I'll reduce mine to 2.
Okay, fantastic, because you got the Gandhi. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, so the night progresses. You all sleep extraordinarily well. If any of you had been down health, we can go ahead and do like a quick heal as well. We can call this, this is certainly reasonable to call this a heal.
Getting that endurance back.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember where I put that in my notes. Forget. Oh, rest. There it is. So we can call this a prolonged rest. You can recover all lost endurance points unless you're wounded, which I don't think anyone here is. And so everyone should be back up to that. You can also regain a single point of hope if you were at 0 hope at the start of the rest. If you're not, then you just stay where you're at.
Does the temp shadow scar go away?
No, shadow reduction comes by. That's a fellowship thing. I think that's end of adventure into fellowship base. Mm-hmm. There is an optional thing you can do. You can spend fellowship points while resting to regain additional hope. I don't know how much hope you all had spent, but if you wanted to, you can spend fellowship points while resting to regain additional hope. 1 point of hope regained for each fellowship point spent. So it's up to you guys. I don't think you guys lost a lot of hope.
To clarify, I believe we only have 5 fellowship points.
That's true.
Is it 1 per player?
Sure.
1 per player. Our previous campaign, we had 1 additional because of Gilly.
Yeah, and then there's also some patron stuff that can also modify.
That's what I was thinking.
Too.
The changes.
Technically, you guys don't have a patron at the moment. We'll sort of work on that. Like if we wanted, we could work in Bjorn stuff. I got some Bjorn stats we could potentially do if the time comes. But like right now, you're technically freelancers trying to track down. So, okay,
Bjorn to be wild.
No,
I like Bjorn to run. That was my the Springsteen one. Bjorn to run because like they were running.
Yeah,
you guys are natural sprinters.
We're I think we're pretty full up on
Dwarfs
hope.
Like natural sprinters.
Yeah.
I'm only down 2, so I'm gonna leave it.
Is it all right to reduce fatigue by 1 for their long rest?
Do you do that? I don't recall if you reduce fatigue.
I saw it under ending journey. If that's
we just did that. That's what the travel stuff was for. It was the travel rolls.
Right, but
forgetting
beyond
something?
that for recovering, prolonged rest. You're able to
We're
get
doing
rid of
prolonged
1.
rest. Was that in the book? Because I don't have it in my little cheat sheet, so I might have left that out.
I'm looking at the cheat sheet.
Page
the primer.
111 on the book says they will get rid of it at the rate of 1 point of fatigue for each following prolonged rest they take in a sheltered and safe refuge.
Absolutely. There you go. You can go ahead and reduce an additional fatigue then. Thank you for that.
All right, awesome.
Cool. I can actually reduce it by 1 then, because I didn't do it on my roll.
So yeah, even if you failed, you're feeling better. When morning comes, the rain has stopped. You probably break your fast, and you can see like Arcinius is like getting his travel gear together. He's got a couple packs, a big old walking stick, and he looks to you all and is like, "Well, if we are to reach the post by sundown, well, we should probably leave relatively quickly here. It's some of the travel here through." Through the fields will be a little bit rough, but once we get beyond it, smooth for a little bit of time. Yes?
Sounds like a plan to me. I'm very grateful for you guiding us.
Of course. And so, yeah, he'll lead you out, and you can see that he closes the door up. And as he does so, like he comes again up to that wall of smoke and mist, and with his hand leading him, kind of pushes out of it. And then you all follow. You get those strange scents that that kind of sort of get up into your nose a bit here and there. Let's see. This is not technically journey phase, but how about somebody give me, who do we want to do this with? Who would our lookouts be? Who did we say those were? Was those Agda and Edda?
The
That sounds right, the
scouts.
sisters.
Scouts, yeah.
I was lookout.
Lookout was for danger. Scouts for were different. Give me CALVAIN. Why don't you give me it? Actually,
Okay.
give me a lookout test. So give me a what do you
Awareness?
call this? Awareness. Thank you.
Scan. Okay.
Awareness is perfect.
Oh, actually, fail. Not a good roll for me.
Ooh.
Okay. You all travel for a bit, and you are, there's 6 of you moving together. Maybe you pair up here, pair up there. No one really ventures too far. Arcanius makes sure that all of you stay within short proximity of each other, because there are still various patches in the bog which you could easily fall, and there's definitely better paths to take. And there's certain places where the water, sort of bubbles up from below, and you can see every now and then a bubble will pop here and there. And as it does, sort of strange sounds, not just the sound of a bubble, but it's just almost like an expression, like an expulsion, as the bubble bursts. You hear the sounds of bugs every now and then, but otherwise there's not a whole lot of, you don't really hear bird sounds or anything. And as the mist still begins to swirl, all of you start to struggle a bit. Once or twice, maybe you stumble and kind of lose your footing here and there. And you start to get closer and closer to each other. Once or twice, you maybe hear a distant sound of a wolf, but they don't seem anything too closely. You see Arcanius reaches for his horn, but then thinks better of it and puts it away. And then as you push through this thick wall of mist, all of you see just to the west, which is you're traveling southward, so it's kind of maybe more like southwest. You're almost right upon it. There's this ridge that comes up out of the bog, this dark, grimy bog, and it almost looks like ancient stone. And it's smooth and it's rounded, and it is enormous. It's like this buried skull of some bygone titan, almost starting to emerge, maybe just from the tops of the forehead. And it looks strangely smooth and strangely dark. And it's really hard to tell exactly whether this is structure or if this is natural. But as you push through this mist, you look at this thing, and you feel this sudden dread, this inexplicable dread. The waters start to not bubble, but swirl a bit around you. You notice, too, that the mist is almost like sort of traveling in the direction of the base of this thing, and then veering upward like a wave crashing against a rock. And then it kind of looks like the mist is almost pulling this dark, smooth rock up. And you see some shadows starting to move over top of that dome. Everyone go ahead and give me a Valor test.
Oh dear. Oh, further. Oh dear. It's a fail for Agda.
Okay.
Fail for
Agda, go
Medwin.
ahead. Okay. Who else?
Edda failed
Great
as well.
success.
Great success for CALVAIN. How did Sin do?
Service major fail.
Okay. Everybody who failed, take 2 points of shadow. CALVAIN, despite the fact that you failed your awareness test, meaning that you didn't keep your distance from this place, right? You just kind of stumbled onto this. You keep yourself steadied in some way. And you notice with your elvish eyes that those shadows moving across the top of this thing are in fact wargs. And you count them. There's 5 of them. And including one very large wolf with these huge haunches. It almost looks as big as a bear. And you see them starting to move a bit very carefully across. And all of you, something about this place, something about the ground, your legs start to move with greater sluggishness. The mist seems to work against you, and you see the wolves suddenly leap off that dome in your direction. And we're going to have ourselves our first combat here. Okay.
Yay! As a player, I'm excited. My character would be less excited.
Shouldn't have failed that awareness test there, elf. Mr. Elvish boy over here.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah,
What
what
the heck?
did your elvish eyes see? Nothing.
Not a damn
He had
thing.
him close.
I didn't see this giant stone thing coming out of the ground. Sorry. Didn't see that. All right. So let's
Sorry,
go through
Jeff.
this.
You said 2 shadows?
2 points of shadow if you failed. Yeah.
Yeah, so we should
CALVAIN,
be at
with a great
3.
success, you
Yeah.
had enough to cancel all of it. So you're good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go through combat again really fast because it's been a while and it is a little different. So I'm going to say surprise and ambush are off the table here, but opening volleys definitely are on the table as they are leaping off of this thing, charging at you all as you are moving with greater sluggishness at this point in this muck. So open volleys. This is the most common way things start because you're at a little distance from each other and you get kind of a chance to perhaps get a ranged attack off. I'm going to say because you guys are fairly stuck and you failed that awareness test, it's only going to be 1. So it's not going to be like multiple rounds of this. So all combatants are entitled to 1 volley using a bow or a thrown weapon like a spear or a short spear. And you all can shoot first. These are wargs. They're not going to get one, but they are leaping across in your direction and they are moving quite quickly. So for those of you who actually have some ranged weapons, does everybody have a ranged weapon?
I believe
Not
so.
everybody.
So do I.
Okay, let me get some.
Agda's the only
Yeah,
one
actually-
who showed up with that arranged weapon.
Agda did show up. Agda's got an axe and a sword.
You guys want to? Yeah, I'll bring you over myself. All right, so I'm just going to bring you over to our little combat map here.
Ooh.
It's not an actual map, for those of you watching. It's really just for us to remember and refresh our memories with distances and stances and things like
Yeah,
that.
it's a nifty little tracker.
Yeah, it comes on the back of the Moria map if you've got the physical Moria book. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so we'll just go around the horn. We'll start with Agda. Agda, do you want to make an attack? A ranged attack?
I do not have the ability to make a ranged attack.
Okay. Sin, do you want to make a ranged attack?
I do.
Okay. Do you want to target one of the smaller wargs or that big, almost bear-sized warg that seems to be like although it's not scientific, the alpha of the pack?
Yeah, I'll go after the big guy. 'Cause I'm impulsive
Okay.
like that. Or I'm
Yeah.
willful like that.
There you go.
Not sure if that isn't willful, like you're kind of disobeying orders and doing whatever the hell you want.
Proud. I don't know.
Okay,
One of them fits.
Whatever.
Going after
okay.
the big guy.
So
Yeah.
if you look on your character sheet, scroll down to where it says bows and just roll bows
Yeah.
specifically. You can also target it if you want. If you guys really want to, if you remember how to do that, you can target it and actually roll directly from your sheet
You
from the
hover
item.
over the token and you click T on the keyboard.
Okay, I'll do that next time. This time I
Totally.
failed.
Okay, so you've got this. What is it? A bow? You have? Is that what you
Yeah.
have?
Yeah.
So you pull out this it's a sort of dwarven made bow. It's got little shining bits of metal, and you fire, and it probably hits, but the thick hide of this creature is enough to send it kind of scattering down. It doesn't seem to really sink into the skin, and it just goes forward without any kind of delay. Edda, do you have a ranged weapon? Would you like to make a
I
ranged
do.
attack?
I do have a bow. I'd like to try.
Okay, go for it. All
And
right.
I do not
So
I got a 6, but didn't give me nothing. A failure.
Okay. Yeah. So you fire too. And if both of you are going after the bigger one, like it's just you're raining down arrows and it's kind of just shedding them off. This thick matted skin. It's maybe covered in some of this marsh swampiness. And it doesn't seem to take any of those. And it just kind of shatters off. What about our elvish friend, CALVAIN, who got you into this mess?
I'll fire at some of the smaller ones on the side.
Okay, fantastic. So you target one, you see them starting to fan out, almost as if they're trying to surround you a bit, and they don't seem to have any trouble moving through this marshy terrain. But you all, it's almost like this dark, boggish water is actually helping them in some way. Give me that roll. Okay.
So I'm targeting it, and it says I need to select a...
What are you trying to roll?
Probably need to click on your token because you might
tracker.
still be as the fellowship if you clicked on the fellowship token before.
Yeah, we're using the Foundry, the unofficial Foundry module, which is honestly awesome. But it's been a while since we used it. Long, the other thing you could do, you just scroll down and you could just roll from your combat proficiencies line. Just roll that, and I can tell you whether it hits or not. If you roll from your weapon, that's where automation comes into play. But there's like the combat proficiencies list. If you just roll from the bows, like you would roll a skill, you can just do it that way.
Yeah, it's giving me an error, so I'm just going to roll it.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
I don't see you targeting anything, so I think it's just you don't have a target up.
It shows me as having an axe and a spear. I don't think I'm on my characters somehow.
Okay.
Are you on mine somehow?
Double click you have a token right there. Double click your token.
Yeah, I'm clicking it,
Open it up.
and it's opening my character sheet.
All right, I'm just going to roll it then, since I have it up.
Yeah, it's
Move it on.
bugged for me.
Weird.
Right, so,
Weird.
all right. I think you were targeting one of your friends is what the problem was there.
Don't hit me. No, the Wargs over there. Don't.
So all right, let's try this again.
Watch where you point that
so-
thing.
Oh, it's because we
Yeah,
don't have
you-
the combat tracker up. That's all it is.
Yeah, I just put it. But the other two people just attacked. What's the problem?
No, the Foundry, like you have to start the combat in the system. That's not
Oh,
how it
yeah,
works.
okay.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay, so, but he should still have been able to roll it from,
It
I
wasn't
can
letting
now,
me do it
after
either.
whatever you just
It
said.
wasn't.
yeah. Go ahead.
We got it figured out.
Okay, I failed anyways, 14.
Okay, you pull the bow out, and maybe you fumble a little bit, honestly. Maybe like there's like a stickiness to it, the humidity, and as you go to fire, you fire just a hair later than you intended, and like the warg just slides and ducks underneath it. And then we come finally to Medwin. Do you have a ranged attack weapon?
Yeah, I've got a great bow that I normally use for hunting, but it's good in a pinch, and I'm gonna go for one of the wargs on the wings.
Okay, fair enough.
Ooh, that's my first sorry.
Okay, we got a
Yeah.
sorry. I think that
actually
only
went
counts towards the
through.
eye. Does it only count towards the eye if it's out of combat? I can't remember. I'll write it down.
It
for
doesn't
now.
show up
Double
as a
check
sorry in the actual automation, so I wouldn't be surprised if you don't get to keep it.
I'm gonna keep it anyway. I can do what I want.
We did go a whole
ahead,
session
nasty.
last time without any.
I'm putting it down and I'll double check later. I can't remember. I think it's outside of combat, but I could be wrong. All right. So that is the end of opening volleys. Let's dig into the first round of actual proper, real, interesting close quarters combat. Remember, in this
Even though we're all
game,
bad shots.
yeah, you guys suck at this. It's funny how you guys aren't as good when you're not using 1,000 audience bonus dice like you did in the first time. You guys start your such hot shit with all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Oh, look at this. We play by the rules of the game. You guys miss every time.
It's not my fault Melissa left her bow at home, all right?
All right. So
Have a
all of
bow.
you.
What are you talking?
So we're going to. You get to do stance selection first. So you've got forward stance, which is like the most aggressive one, where you get a bonus die on your attacks, but you also will attackers against you will also get a bonus die. And then there's the combat test. If you wanted to choose that, that's an action you can take on your turn instead of attacking. where you can try to intimidate foe. Then you've got open, which is balanced, no pluses, no minuses, just straightforward, and you could potentially do a rally comrades task. There's the defensive task, which is the most protective, where your attack rolls lose a d6, but your attacks against you also lose a d6. And then there's rearward, which is like the ranged one, only allowed if the total number of enemies isn't more than twice the number of heroes in the party. And for each player hero in rearward, there must be 2 other adventurers in close combat stances. So keep that in mind as well. So there's a limit to how many of you can go in there. So who's going what? Does anyone know for sure
doing
what they're doing?
forward.
Also doing forward.
Okay.
Rearward for me.
Okay.
Open.
So Calvin's gonna pop the bow out and ready to go. And we got Agda and Sin are gonna step forward into forward stance. Okay.
I don't think I'm
I
showing
don't-
us forward, but I want to be in forward.
Okay. Yeah, there's a way to do it. I can't remember.
So right click on your token and then like click on the combat state. And then above there's like these tabs in combat.
Yeah.
You can go over and choose your stance.
Gotcha.
The token that I selected isn't in combat.
All
Target
tokens are
an
currently
enemy.
in combat.
Right click.
Let's go into close combat. There we go. Let's try now. It's weird because like you get error. Some of you get error messages saying that the system didn't do it properly, but others it works just fine.
Yeah,
for
it
you.
works
And
just fine. Yeah.
It's so weird. Okay, so we've got 2 doors that move up into forward. We've got Medwin moving into open, and then what is EDDA doing?
Forward. Oh, no, sorry.
I will be open
Edit.
as well.
Okay, so we've got 2 on open, and we've got 2 on forward, and then we've got rearward. I'm also going to say Arcinius is here, and he is not. Guys, stop moving your tokens, please. Okay. So we've got Arcinius here, and Arcinius, if you want to use him, 1 person per round could potentially get him to help. He's got the staff, he's got the horn, which he's trying to blow now, but they don't seem to be dissuaded at this point. But if any of you wanted to use him once per round, 1 person can get the benefit of him, can get a bonus die of some kind. All right, so then we're going to go through this. We'll get this down. We'll remember how to do this. Okay, so then we do target selection. So if there are more enemies than heroes, or if there are equal or more heroes than enemies is what kind of determines this. So there is an equal number. Is there? Hang on. How many to do? Yeah, there's an equal number.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 5 and 5. So in this case, players in close combat stance, you get to choose an unengaged adversary to face from all those eligible targets on the outside. And if there are not enough free enemies to engage heroes in close combat left without an adversary have to engage an enemy that's already engaged by another player. So let's start with the forward people. So that's Sin and EDDA. Who do you want to engage with?
EDDA, you can go first if you like.
So I'm forward.
Agda, sorry.
Yeah, so I am
I think I
forward
said
and
that too.
I am facing off. So there are 5, and so there's sort of what I'll call the southernmost one is the one that I will face off against.
Okay. And what about you, Sin?
A big guy who I should
Okay.
be in front of.
Okay, so you lock in with the big one as they literally are leaping across. They're almost like they have this ability to just sort of this giant leap off the top. They land, splash, and then they charge, and they're dodging your arrows as they come, but they're also leaping and trying to close the distance really rapidly. They started to fan out a little bit around you, not fully surrounding you, but they're kind of coming at you from kind of an open arc. And so like off to the south, we see Agda splits off. We can see Sin go right down the middle towards the big one. Then in open stance, we've got, who do we have? We've got Medwin and we've got EDDA. So who do you 2 want to lock in on?
I'll go for the same one I shot at on the left flank.
Okay, can you ping which one that is?
Yeah, the top one.
And
All right.
then I'll go for the one between the girls.
All right. Okay. And so then, like you're not necessarily Calvin. You're not required because you're in the rearward stance. Like you don't have to actually do any kind of like engagements. Like that doesn't, you can kind of fire wherever. But there is, if one or more player is fighting in rearward, there could be more enemies left when everyone's done their stuff. If this happens, and I get to choose whether the spare enemies engage a hero that's already in close combat, or if they stand back with a ranged weapon. They're wolves. They don't have ranged weapons. So I'm going to roll randomly and see who it's going to go after. It's going to go, one of them's going to go after Sin. It's going to team up with the big guy. So there's 2 that are engaged with Sin. There's 1 that's now engaged with everybody else. And so we've got our targets and stuff figured out, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Good so far?
Yep.
All right. We go into action resolution. You guys get to go first as players. And so you get your main actions that require your full attention. It's basically an attack or a combat task. So you can do one of those 2 things. And then there's like secondary actions, but most of those are like drawing a weapon, dropping a helm, shield, that kind of stuff, or switching things out, but that's about it. Or like looking around. Okay, so we got the technical stuff out of the way. So all of you like charge in sluggishly, like trudging through some of this muck. The wolves seeming to move without any impediment. Let's start with Agda. Agda, you got this wolf charging in on you, leaps up into the air, you swing. It kind of lands right behind you. You turn around and maybe you swing again. So give me, what do? You going to do an attack here?
Yeah. So Agda has a shield and she's got her axe. And so she is kind of, coming at this thing, trying to kind of take out its legs with her axe. And that is a failure.
Okay. Don't forget about things like hope and stuff. I should remind you all, don't forget about things like that. Forgetting like bonus dice and stuff. It's too late, obviously, for this roll, but don't forget that is potential. But yeah, you swing down and it dodges once more. Like everything's just a little heavier. The humidity of the marsh is weighing down on you. Your body not turning quite as fast as
there's like a wind up that comes with the axe swing that would normally like get a little more, kind of torque to it, and just kind of unable to get that full kind of like swing around and just whiffs. And she sort of grunts.
Dodges right underneath you. Okay, Sin, go right ahead. What do you got?
Since I have 2 on me and one of them is the big guy, do people mind if I use Medwin this turn?
Medwin, it wouldn't be Medwin, it'd be Arcinius.
Sorry, Arcinius. Fuck's wrong with me?
I mean, I don't want to be used.
I meant Arcinius.
If you were Dwarf, he would be like, use me all day, chieftain. Whatever you say.
Totally fair. My try for you to take Arcinius.
If no one minds, then that's what I'm going to do.
So you get flanked. You get this big one. You charge in, but right as it looks like you're about to swing at it, this second one like just pounces on you, kind of knocks you off your game, so you don't get that first swing off. And then Arcinius comes rushing in right as it looks like that big wolf is going to bite down on you. He just with the side of his staff just butts its head aside, and you're able to kind of regain your footing and swing. So yeah, go for it.
Do I get a bonus die, or does he just get a separate roll?
You get a bonus die. Yeah.
Okay.
2 because you're in forward.
Oh, sweet. Right. Thank you.
You get a bonus die from being in forward stance.
I didn't actually
get a bonus die.
I didn't get a bonus die from being in forward, now that you mentioned that.
If you want to roll another d6, you can, and I can tell you.
Do you want to do that first, Mel?
Yeah, sorry. I'm glad that Steven said that out loud, because axes I have 2 proficiency and I just got 2.
Steven.
Okay, so that's a 5 on the die, so it would have been a 15.
That would have been a success.
What is your target number?
14.
Okay. All right. If that's the case, yeah. So you kind of regain your footing, and then it lunges at you, and you manage to hack into it with your axe. Does 5 damage, and you didn't get any 6s or anything, right?
I did not, no.
Okay. So that's 5 points of damage to it.
5 damage. Heck yeah.
Okay. Wait, what did I do? Sorry, I was looking at your weapon. Do you have anything special on your weapon or anything? No, you don't. Okay, nope. So you get 5 points, and that is not enough to kill this thing, obviously, but you hack into it, and you hear it as you manage to get the blade right into its side, but it does not look undeterred.
Sorry, my turn.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, that's awesome. That was a well-needed roll.
Against Sin, however, the big one is going to activate one of its abilities. I'm going to spend a point of hate to activate its snake-like speed ability, which means that your attack is going to be ill-favored.
Okay. So that's one bonus die gone?
No, it's 2 feat die, and you take the worst of the 2.
Okay.
Yeah, the option should pop up to add a bonus die and make it ill-favored. I had forgotten about that, spending a point of hate.
I fucking love that phrase.
Just feels so hateful. Like, Jeff, why do you hate us?
I love that phrase.
Because
I forgot how much I
damn
missed
well.
hearing that phrase. I just love it.
I know.
You know exactly why, Steven. You know exactly why.
All right, yeah, we don't need to
Comment
get on stream.
on the video why you think I hate everybody. There you go. I'm getting better at this, right? It's pretty easy.
You're getting engagement.
Farming
yeah, that's what we need.
engagement.
See?
There we go.
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm trying to do it all in the system.
All right, so let's see what you got. All right, so you've got, oh my goodness. All right, so it's a total of 17, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got 17
and
total.
I added what's his face and
Yep.
also the
It was ill-favored. Yep.
Yep, 17, and you got a bonus die shows a 6, so you can do extra things with it.
Yeah.
So remember that there are times which you can spend your 6s to do various extra bonuses. You're using a long-hafted axe, right?
I am, and my damage from that is 6.
6 is the base damage, but because you have a
Sweet.
bonus, you actually have things that you can spend it on. So you can do, any weapon can do a heavy blow. So you can spend your extra success icon that you got from your 6 to increase the damage that you do equal to your strength rating. Let's see. And then
If you have
you
an
can
axe,
also do
you could fend
off,
Mhm.
right? Where you can spend that bonus instead to make it harder for them to hit you on your next turn. And yeah, that's it. Those are your 2 choices.
Mhm.
I'll add the strength, which is 6.
Okay.
Yeah, so my damage is 6 and my strength modifier is 6.
Okay, so you come up and you just go face to face with this big thing. You kind of get knocked around a bit. Arcinius comes up, blocks the big wolf from biting into you, and then you swing down and you put a sickening crunch in this thing. So it's 12 total, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay. That is a huge blow, and a spurt of this dark blood just goes flying out from where you hack into it right in the neck. It's not enough to actually take it out, but my goodness, did that do a significant portion, and it is suddenly slowing and a little bit dazed
Hell yes.
as it's trying to regain its footing a bit. Okay, so that's forward stance. Let's go to open stance. We've got Medwin. You want to start?
Yeah. So Medwin is holding a short hunting spear in one hand, and he's got his wooden shield in the other. It's just bare. There's nothing painted on it. And he's going to stab the shit out of this warg.
Stabby, stabby, stab.
Stab
Please do.
the shit.
Absolutely.
That's a forward stance, right?
And I'm dealing 5 damage.
Okay, fantastic. So you this thing charges at you. You just hold up the spear, and it's like it throws itself right onto your spear, and you just manage to get the spearhead like burying right into where its chest leaps up as it's kind of looking like it's going to rake down on you with its claws, and you manage to get it right in its chest. Total of 5, you said?
Sorry. Yes, that is
All right.
correct. 5 damage.
Awesome. Okay, so this is. Sorry, I forgot that I have to
Grievous
remember how to
spear.
track this stuff. Okay.
Oh, Mel's snooping on character sheets again. She's so
It
excited to
showed
be able to see.
It showed up
Do
in
I have to hide him
Foundry.
again?
Sure it
Melissa,
does.
do I have to hide him again?
I'm not looking at his sheet. It says right there, Medwin the Broken attacks Wild Wolf using their grievous spear and deals 5 damage.
Exclamation point, Melissa in chat.
Edda. Comment in the YouTube chat. Does Melissa cheat too often at board games in role-playing games? Edda, go ahead.
Edda is going to attack with her great axe.
Yeah, it's like maybe you and it are like squaring off, like right to your back. There's like this big stone thing, and you're like just staring at it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So,
that's a hell of a roll.
Heck yeah.
So you got a 10 on your feat die, which means that you got a piercing blow. So you're going to do 7 damage to it no matter what. But because you did a piercing blow, I have to roll protection against it. And if I fail, I take a wound. Okay. And so the target of your
is 22.
20 freaking 2.
Ooh.
Okie
Holy
dokie,
shit.
Mr. Smokey.
Nice job, Ashley. Dusting off those rules.
Keep forgetting to do the
Hell
snake-like
yes.
speeds and stuff, but that's fine. I only did it with the big guy. Let's see. Let's do. I do have like general stuff I can spend to just get a bonus. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and give it 1 bonus because I don't think I'm going to get to 22
do it for
no
fun.
matter what. All right, there's no way. Come on,
Ooh, a
sorry.
6. Nice.
Ooh.
I rolled a 17 total, unfortunately. That is not enough. And so go ahead and describe your kill, Edda, as you one-shot this thing.
Wow.
Hell yes.
So maybe the wolf is actually kind of looking at Agda. It's thinking that it's going to get her while her back is turned. And Edda goes ahead and growls viciously as she just kind of brings this axe down and beheads this wolf that's looking at her sister.
Fantastic. Okay, and so then you spin around and you look and you see like the whole like field is kind of spread about. Everyone's got these little pockets where they're fighting. You can see Sin and Arcinius are fighting against 2. You can see Medwin off to the side, like he's taking one on. He's got his spear up in one, and then maybe perched atop, like finding some high ground. We see CALVAIN like maybe stepping on top of like a rock, a boulder that's coming up out of this gloomy bog water. CALVAIN, we're in rearward. What do you want to do?
Take aim and shoot an arrow towards the warg on Adga.
Okay,
Agda?
so you're gonna try to help out where Agda has already like slashed into one and it's moving, kind of shaking itself off a bit. And you know what? Because it's probably gonna die soon. I'm gonna go ahead and spend a hate to make this attack ill-favored.
All right.
There you go. So that's 2 feet die. Take the lower. You guys remember how to do this? I think we're getting. I think we're remembering.
It's coming back. It's coming back.
Yeah.
It just hurts to hear you say you hate me, though. Like, I don't know. I forgot about that pain every time.
I said I'm spending a point of hate, which is a different thing.
Honestly, one of my favorite gaming phrases. I forgot how much I love it.
Let the hate flow through you.
All right, so my train needs therapy, and I'm well adjusted, is what we're learning.
Well, I think we all knew that.
All right, what happens, CALVAIN?
With ill-favored, I whiff the arrow.
Okay. And so like you're standing up there, but you're still kind of wobbly, and then maybe a little gust of wind sends some mist right in front of your face, and maybe it happens to just kind of pull the bow ever so slightly to the left, and the arrow goes wide. Okay. You guys feel good? You guys have all gone? It's not my freaking turn.
I know.
I'll go
I'm
again if you want.
concerned.
Okay,
Can you
so-
do a fellowship focus in a combat?
Well, the fellowship focus thing is that's when you're spending a point to become inspired. Wait, explain it to me again. I always screw this up. Someone else knows
Fellowship
the rules.
focus is when you give a hope to someone else, but I don't know if you can do it in combat.
We can look it up. I don't think it's going to come into play right this second, though. Everyone's pretty full up on hope. So, but if someone wants to look it up, go right ahead. I am going to attack with my wolves, and I'm going to start with the one that just managed to dodge out of the way of this fancy Mirkwood elf arrow. And I'm going to go ahead and target Agda. Agda, you are in forward stance, which means it's going to
Get an extra die.
It's going to get an extra die. So it's coming at you, trying to bite you. It's telling me that you're not in the combat tracker. Let me see. Okay. There we go. Now you're in the combat tracker.
Explains why I was having issues. It didn't roll it properly for me.
Gotcha. So yeah, it's going to chomp down on you. And it forgot to roll the extra die. So I'm going to roll the extra D6 then. So it's similar. You did the same thing. So it's going to roll a total of 18. So take a look at your parry.
14.
Okay, so that will hit you. This is going to do 3 points of damage. I did not get any special success dice, so it's just going to chomp down into your giant meaty forearm as it gets behind your shield and just bites down on the shield arm, and you still managed to hold onto the shield, but you didn't quite do what it's supposed to do. Okay.
So then I roll my armor for that?
That's for only... Isn't it only for piercing blows? Like a protection roll for piercing blows? Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So I take 3.
It didn't get a piercing blow. Okay. So then we'll go...
The answer for the fellowship focus, too, is that no, you can't do it in combat because it only applies to skill rolls, whereas we're doing combat proficiency rolls.
Thank you.
Except, what about combat tasks? Combat tasks are skill rolls, are they not?
Well, a player would have to be supporting another, which would imply that it's on their action or they're available to be supporting. So I think that'd be GM fiat, whether someone can sacrifice their action to support that way.
Okay. If you guys want to sacrifice attacking these things, no, I'm just kidding. All right, let's go over to Medwin. Medwin, you just stab this one in the chest. It's like you don't quite break off the spear, but there was that moment where as you're holding the spear in its chest, the shaft itself starts to bend a little bit, but then you're able to yank it back out, and the splurt of flesh and blood and fur kind of flies into your face. And as you reel back from it, thinking maybe the wolf was dead, it's still there and it leaps onto you. I am going to spend, because you are not in forward stance, I'm going to get bonus die on my attack on you. And rude. I feel like it's necessary. All right, here we go. Let's see how I do. All right, so I do this time around roll extraordinarily well. With a 23 from this thing.
Crazy.
Including a 6, which I'm going to just spend for a heavy blow to increase my damage. You're going to take 6 points of damage as this thing goes right for your throat. It leaps up, it gets goes down and then leaps back up and bites you right on the throat or on the side of the shoulder as it's starting to right down into there. Then we'll come back to... Oh, what else we got? Okay, the only person we have now is Sin. And unfortunately, you have 2 that are going after you. We'll start with the little guy. Little guy will go ahead and roll. So the little wolf has bypassed now where Arcinius was trying to intersperse themselves. But you can tell that they're not particularly skilled at fighting, and they're really just playing defense. Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't... We'll have to figure out how to set stances later, because it's it should automate this, but because you're in forward stance, I don't think it's automatically giving me my thing. But I noticed it this time. Okay, I rolled even better this time.
Oh my gosh.
With a 25, including another 6. I'm just going to put it
really
towards...
does hate us. Okay, this isn't right.
Yeah. Now we're playing on even terms. No more fancy special bonuses from all the really kind people who watch and support our stream. Screw
They're so
that
very
shit.
You had
nice.
so many complications.
Yep, I did. I had so many that, honestly, the campaign got super complicated, and that's why we had to end it. So, 6 points of damage towards Sin, as maybe you don't see the small one lurking about and then grabs, just gnaws down onto maybe the back of your leg as you are squaring up with this big one.
Does my armor come play at all?
No, that's only if it's a piercing blow. And so in this case, it's just straight up endurance loss.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
All right, this big one who you hacked into this to really do some great work. It's going to, it's going to attack you. What do I want to do? Yeah, it's going to just try to bite you as you maybe rear back from the feeling of the fangs sinking into your calf. Maybe your arm kind of goes wide, leaving you a little bit open as this thing lunges. So here go. All right. Oh boy. So this time I rolled even better, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Now I rolled a 27. It's just going up. It's just going up.
23, 25, 27. That's insane.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yee, dear.
I'm so glad I've played One Ring again, guys. Great. All right, so I'm going to just add 2 heavy blows and just do a bunch of damage. So you're going to take 12 points of endurance loss.
Okay.
This one's a little bit stronger than the others, and it like maybe pushes you down. It nearly threat like maybe it knocks you down for a moment, and you like fall back as one of the little ones is like biting down onto your leg. You're like splashing around in this bog water. And then the big one stomps down on top of you and bites maybe the back of your neck. You're able to push it off and stand up again as like our Arcinius kind of pulls you away. But you are bleeding and you are weary as you have taken a significant amount of endurance loss, bleeding from all these different bites. And that's the end of the round. As let's go to the next round. And we again, let's do the declaration of stances. So who's in forward?
Agda will remain in forward.
Edda will move to forward.
Okay, fantastic.
I'll stay
who
in
else?
forward.
Okay. So
I'm staying open.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and adjust your stances properly so the system is doing it correctly. And you're an open, Medwin. Okay.
Correct.
Fantastic. All right, so then let's do engagement. Right now, you guys outnumber them, so you get to determine where you engage with. Sin, do you stay with the big one, or do you maybe move to a different one?
I want to finish them off.
Okay.
Yeah,
then,
you are.
Agda, you are also in forward stance. Do you stay with the one that you were on, or do you go to?
Yes, I will. Yep, I'll stay here.
All right. So that means 2 of them are locked in. Edda, you move up into forward stance.
Correct.
Do you go to the one that's trying to flank Sin? That one.
She sees her kind of getting flanked too much, so she'll rush in there. She's fierce. She'll go for it.
Okay. All right. So you kind of, right as it looks like that little one is about to jump on Sin, we just see this sudden move of shadow and blood as we still see pieces of the fur and the blood from the last one that you just hacked to pieces, as there's Edda just appearing out of nowhere to intersperse herself so that it's now more of an even fight. And then Medwin, you're still on the open one that's left. Okay. Let's go. Let's start with Sin. Sin, you're fighting the big one. So let's start there. How do you do? You want to just swing at this thing?
I'm just gonna use my axe.
Okay. All right.
You got this.
So.
You do got this.
Yeah.
Well-
I'll throw in a heavy blow.
So, one quick thing before we get too excited. She's weary, right?
Yeah.
All right, so then, because it's giving me that message. Okay, so weary.
Oh yeah, it didn't pop
remember-
up as weary.
Yeah, so while
Right,
weary,
right.
when you make a roll, a success dice that shows 1, 2, and 3 count as 0 instead. So let's see if that would have affected. Yeah, so you did roll a 3.
what-
So now you're down to a 13. So did that hit? What's your target number for strength?
Just scrolling up one.
14.
14.
Okay, so then it does miss, unfortunately. I'm sorry to do that to you, but yeah.
That's okay. That makes
You go to
sense.
lift, you're bleeding, you got like a bite in the back of your neck, you got a bite in your leg, and you go to hack at this thing. But just that little bit of weariness, it's just too slow, and it's able to dodge out of the way.
Yeah. Someone else
let's
can
go.
use Arcinius, by the way. I didn't
true.
use them this turn.
Agda, we'll come to you. You have been squaring off with this other one. It's bleeding. You're bleeding. The two of you are bleeding together. What do you want to do with this thing?
I'm gonna swing my axe again. I was successful the first time. Was able to get kind of just enough, and so it's kind of that like did the swing, and now is going to do kind of the back swing.
Yeah. I'm going to spend a point of hate to initiate snake-like speed and make it ill-favored. It's going to die if she hits it. So like these things don't have a ton of health, so I can keep them alive as long as I can. Steven wants us to go like 4 or 5 hours today with this session, so.
Why isn't it giving me the option
I'll
for
need a snack break if we go that long.
favored?
When you go to roll, it should do like a big pop-up, right? So,
Yeah, but the big pop-up is giving me feat die, hope, penalty.
All right, just roll that, and then we could roll
Yeah.
another d12. And
Yep.
That's fine. Just move it along. Oh, that's a shame, because that one d12 was a Gandy. Roll another d12. Oh, you're going to miss this Gandy. It's still a 9, though, which is phenomenal. So you're still going to roll a 20 with a bonus, and that is a hit.
Heck
with,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you want to just do a heavy blow here?
Yeah, I'll do a heavy blow because I also have 6 strength. So
Describe your kill, as that's going to be enough to kill it.
heck yeah. So she's got her shield up. She did like kind of the big kind of forward swing. And then she does the like kind of whip the axe around and does kind of the back swing up. And so she kind of took it out at the legs on the first one. And then just kind of like through the midsection with kind of the upswing.
Okay.
And just kind of like lets out kind of just a little kind of like growl after she does it.
All right, and you look over and you see that Sin is now like in this struggle with this big hulking wolf, and then you see that EDDA has stepped forward to kind of assist at that point. The two of them, Arcinius, are kind of swirling around just a few feet from you. Behind you, you can see Medwin is like squaring off with another one, kind of dodging around, stabbing, lunging, thrusting with that spear. And then we'll come to EDDA. It's your turn.
All right, I'm going to take a swing at this guy with my great axe. And it is a failure.
Oh,
Oh, wow. I didn't even use my snake-like speed and everything.
Yeah.
I kept on to my
no,
hate.
so
Okay.
close.
Just
So
to
you
call out, Medwin or CALVAIN, you can use Arcinius.
Okay. So maybe like as you go to swing the axe down, you don't realize that a portion of the previous wolf that you killed is still stuck to the axe. So as it like slams down into this new wolf, it deadens the impact. And so the blade doesn't actually cut through. So you still hit it, but it just kind of bounces off it to the side. And then we go to Medwin. What do you want to do, man?
Yeah, he like came at my throat, so I lift my shield up just to like put a barrier between and kind of push him off, and I grip up on my spear to shorten it, and I just start jabbing into the side there. And I would like to use Arcinius. Maybe he's like blowing on the horn, and that just distracts the warg just enough
Okay.
to
just-
give me a little bit of an opening.
As he starts stepping back a little bit, falling back to where CALVAIN is, like blowing this horn a bit, and like it's like maybe there's a moment of hesitation as the one that you're fighting like quickly cocks his head to the side, recognizing the sound. Go for it.
And I know it's not a contest, but to Medwin it is a contest, and Edda's already killed one, so I have to kill this one.
You know what? I'm going to spend a point of hate to do snake-like speed and
I
give you a
just
favor.
rolled though.
Oh, that's a shame. You got to roll another d12 to see. You were still rolling really well, dude. I think
Let's
you're
see
still
how it
doing
goes. Let's see how he.
Let's just hope you don't roll a Sauron. Let's just hope we don't.
Oh,
Okay.
Are you still okay?
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I'm still okay. That would
17.
take -4 off the roll, so that puts me at 17, which is above my target number, and I still have
got
the
an
extra
extra-
6.
Yeah, it's all going to work.
But the 3 means I can't pierce, so I'll just do a heavy blow.
Okay. What's the total damage then?
11 damage.
Describe your kill.
I grip up on the spear, so I'm really just right below the blade. And as that warg goes for my throat again, I actually jab the blade into its throat. And then I just push it off of me and spin around, pulling it out. No look back, like blood exploding behind me, and I'm not even watching.
All right.
So cinematic.
That sounds great. Okay. Actually, it actually rolled. The bonus die did roll.
Did it?
You did
Okay,
roll 3d6.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. So there's now 2 left. Both of them fighting towards the front. One of the big one is on Sin. The smaller one you can see is tangled up with EDDA. CALVAIN, you see your traveling companions are hacking, slashing. The sound of of a horn, not blowing like particularly far, but close enough. What do you want to do?
I'll turn my attention towards the big warg. Make sure I hit this one. Got us into this mess. I'll get us out. I'll spend 1 hope for this dick.
Okay, I am going to do snake-like speed because it is, the big guy. So that's going to be ill-favored.
Okay.
You see it dodging and weaving around the battlefield a bit here and there, leaping, ducking down, splashing into that bog water, suddenly popping up, covered and drenched in that sludge.
That is not good. I got sour one.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm going to mark it. I'm marking it just to be safe. I don't remember. We have to double check that rule later, but I'm just marking it. Okay.
Calvain has had such a bad showing this session.
He's a scholar. Everyone remember, he's a scholar.
Not a fighter.
Yeah.
He
still
brought us right into the midst of this fight, and then has done nothing since.
Hit the broadside of a barn. It's the biggest wolf too. It's like watching a school bus go by and missing it. What do you think happens that causes your shot to miss this time? Last time was the mist pulling your shot free. What do you think happens?
This one I noticed in front of it, kind of being tired, scratched, bleeding, and that distracts me just for a moment before my shot goes off.
It makes sense. Sin is bleeding all over the damn place.
Yeah. Okay. We come around to their turn. I'm going to start with the small one that is now on EDDA. And I think it's going to attack. It's going to, because it's actually good. This is the one that's probably the healthiest.
Yep.
So it's going to attack. I'll spend my lore master pool to make this one hurt a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Sure and forward too. So yeah, this one's going to hurt really bad. Okay. See if I get into the 30s, guys.
Don't.
24. And not a good roll, actually, despite the fact that I had many dice I was rolling. I didn't roll any 6s, but it's still 3 points of damage.
I'll take it.
As this thing bites down into you. Then we turn to the big one. Horn blaring, arrows flying at it. It's got this huge gaping gash in its neck between where its like shoulder and its neck connect. We see both it and we see Sin bleeding all around the carcasses of its pack. It's going to turn, and you see it suddenly do its ability. I'm going to call this its Great Leap ability, and effectively, it's going to leap back up onto in the distance that mound, that ancient sort of smooth stone, that dark smooth stone that's protruding up as it looks to flee. As it's leaping and racing away, leaving the last of its pack gone. So it's gonna run. So in terms of like these creatures, I think if I recall correctly, you just kind of choose whether or not you want to chase after it, or if you just want to turn and kill this one. So I'm going to say at this point, one's fleeing, one just leapt up on top of this old structure. There's another one now that's still in combat with EDDA. So let's get into like more of a narrative conclusion to this. What do you all think you do? Do you think you just gather around and hack this last one to pieces? Do you think you try to chase after this? What do you think?
I think Agda would go towards her sister and would just try to help take out this one that's kind of putting her in danger. She's not interested in chasing after danger.
Okay.
I think Medwin also would be like heading towards this one that's by EDDA and trying to make sure he kills it instead of EDDA.
Okay. Okay, Sin, what about you?
That one that went the other way, was that the big one that
it's the big
took
one.
A chunk out of me?
Yeah, it took a huge chunk out of you. It did its
Then
Great
I'm
Leap ability.
chasing after it because fuck that guy.
Okay. As you start racing and trying to climb up this smooth mound, because remember, it just leapt on top of it. I need you to roll a test. I need you to roll an athletics test, ill-favored, to try to climb up this thing. As this is smooth and slick, and you're just trying to hack it, right? You're charging.
And bleeding.
Yeah.
I am, and this is pure just rage and...
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Ill-favored, you said, right?
Yeah, it's a very, very smooth stone. Like, it's extraordinarily
really
smooth.
should be ill-favored for at least one reason. Oh,
Ooh.
failure.
Oof.
So you're trying to climb up, and like, although there's like these little pockets here and there, like you can barely get your fingernails in, like you're just struggling to find purchase, and this thing just leapt clearly on top of it. And so you see Sin race off, and she's trying to climb up the side of this stone. And then last, CALVAIN, what do you think you're doing?
I'd run after Sin, just make sure she's all right. I could see her charging off. Just keep her in my sight.
Okay. So you just race up to her, and you see like she's bleeding. She's trying to climb up, falling back down, bleeding, falling back down. Okay. Do you try to climb up, or are you just helping her?
Just helping her.
Okay. So if that's the case, what I'm going to say, if you're helping her and Sin was unable to climb, the three of you are surrounding, the three others are surrounding this wolf. I'm going to say the big one then is going to get away. It's going to do its leap, and it's going to start outpacing you. And with the mist, it's going to be hard to target it. And so the big one does get away, but you guys are able, Medwin, Edda, Agda, all of you surrounding this last one, slashing and hacking, slashing and hacking. And eventually, this wolf falls. We'll say combat ends, and many of you are bloodied and have bite marks and claw marks all over. What do you guys say or do?
Medwin is like leaning on his spear, and, breathing heavy. Mine was bigger.
Yeah.
It took you longer.
But it was bigger, so it still counts more.
No,
it's like 1.5.
We're tied.
We'll talk about it later.
Sin.
Sin and broken Sin.
Sin has slumped down against the wall there near and just kind of trying to turning at different parts of her body to stop the bleeding. And having varying amounts of success.
Arsenius, can you... Okay, come on, let's... And Edda will escort Arsenius closer to Sin.
Yeah. Arcinius will move with you very quickly, and he'll start pulling various poultices and bandages after out of his stuff, and starting to kind of place them onto various portions where you have been bit. As the four of you, so this is Edda and Sin and CALVAIN and now Arcinius, are at the base of this thing, this strange smooth stone protruding up. You look, and you can see that there is this very slight not rippling of some of the dark bog water at the base. It's almost lapping up against it. The mist is almost being pulled towards it, and you feel yourselves like you're at the center of it. It's not like a heavy wind, but you just feel like this fog, this mist is pulling towards you in some way. And as you get close to this thing, the closer you get, you just feel something, that same bit of dread starting to weigh down. There's something about this particular place that is certainly causing some problems. Do you all wish to short rest here, or do you wish to try to put some distance between you and this place, or is there something else that you would like to do?
I
Medwin
do not like this.
Would gaze up, and he'd be staring at it for a while. I think we need to go inside.
You want us to rest here?
We can rest first, but we have to hunt down the Alpha. Baron and Grimhild, the Bjornings that went to kill it. They may need our help.
Oh, we certainly need to rest if we're going to do any more fighting. Sin here.
We can take a breather. I'm not saying we go now. The thing is wounded. Hopefully it bleeds out and there will be no fight.
Oh,
We should move him here first. There's a wait here.
we also need to go to where the barge...
Sin, I know we are looking for your brother, and I do not wish to jeopardize that, but if two of my people are in there, they could be very close. I have to check.
Okay.
If two of your people are even remotely like you, they can handle a half-dead warg. My brother can barely handle being on a barge.
If a warg gets a drop on you, there's a reason I earned the name the Broken.
Is the same reason that other Bjornings do not have such names? You might be broken, they aren't.
I'm broken because of a Warg attack.
And they aren't.
We don't know they aren't.
They
If
aren't
you wish to
also
continue for your brother, I understand.
I do.
Well,
I need to check on my people
let's
as well.
have a compromise. Sin, you're being treated. Medwin, let's go scout. We'll look for signs of your people, and then we'll come back and decide what we need to do.
These
Medwin
two,
nods his assent.
those two are here alone, and it appeared that the two we were looking for had many traveling companions on the barge. So, the honorable thing to do. I agree, Edda. Help look around.
We'll be back.
Yes, I can stay behind and help patch Sin up. Don't worry. And he looks around. But I agree with Master CALVAIN. This is a foul place.
I hate this feeling.
We'll be a mile or so south of here. Put some distance between us and this thing. Yes.
If there's any trouble, call on your horn.
Very good. Yes.
And so he'll reach down and kind of help Sin up. And the two of you start moving south. Does CALVAIN go with Sin? Or does CALVAIN go off? Okay, so we don't
CALVAIN,
want his
help
Sin.
anyways.
Okay. So then Agda, Edda, and Medwin, so you maybe you circumvent this thing really fast, and you don't see an entrance into this thing. It just looks like this smooth stone, and there's cracks in it here, and you peer and peer, but you can tell that it goes deep underneath the bog. You're not sure how far, but when you reach your hands down, maybe when you check your spear, but you don't find anything that suggests an entrance. And the last thing you saw was the large warg atop this thing leap off of it to the northwest and kind of disappear as it was in the air into the mists, and that's the last you saw of it. So I would want a hunting test from one of you, and if the two of you who don't make the roll can explain maybe what you're doing to help, maybe you can get some bonus dice on this.
I'm happy to make
roll.
the hunting test.
Okay, so before you roll, Agda, Edda, what do you think the two of you are doing to aid in Medwin's hunting?
I think, what would I be doing?
Yeah, don't worry about skills. Just describe what you're doing, and then we can figure skills later.
I would say Agda is keeping a keen eye out. So just kind of trying to help. So if he's looking, toward the east, Agda's looking a little toward the west to, kind of do a, kind of a grid search kind of a thing. So that's what kind of she's doing.
Okay. So
It did take an axe to it pretty heavily, so it is bleeding.
Dripping blood. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
it is a
fair
swamp,
point.
though, so it could be disappearing into the water.
Yeah.
Do you want to spend a hope, Agda, to actually give support?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Which would give him... Okay. Yeah. If you'd rather it just be flavor, it can just be flavor. But if you want to give him the bonus, we'll say that.
Got hope, spend it.
What about you, Edda? Same question.
I think Edda would be looking more so for signs of the Bjornings, not so much the wolf. So she's looking at if there's trees nearby for any maybe hatchings or markings that have been left behind, or any ripped cloaks or clothing or fabric, stuff that's not natural to the area.
Okay, so it's less about tracking signs of a creature and more about looking for things that might not supposed to be here, that sort of thing. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to spend a hope as well?
Yeah, I'll spend a hope.
Okay, good, because this is going to be ill-favored, Medwin. But you do have 2 bonus dice on the roll at least. So, but this will otherwise be ill-favored considering the terrain. And again, you guys still feel this heavy dread. But the further you get away from that stone, you do start to feel better, but not out of it. you still kind of feel the pull of something dark. Go ahead and give us that roll.
So I would also, if I can, tap into one of my distinctive features, my enemy lore of wargs, where I know like their habits, strengths, and weaknesses. So maybe I'd be looking for like, we know that it jumped from a rock. Maybe I could look for like scratches on the other side that show like these are the places that wargs normally like jump to and from, which might lead us to like the best way to cross or something along those lines, trying to figure out like where they would most likely go.
Absolutely. Yeah, that sounds so perfect.
I spend 1 hope, but because it's a distinctive feature, it gives me 2 bonus dice, I believe.
Exactly. Yeah, so you have a bunch of bonus dice, but you are
rolling. Is there a
rolling
limit to 3 bonus dice?
I don't remember. I honestly don't.
And there might be, at least according to the system. Hope bonus dice. There we go. That's me.
Okay.
And I'm already favored on this, so it's just a flat roll then.
It's gonna be flat. Okay. Yeah, because it's Warg specifically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your.
Yeah, that's my enemy lore. So I've got 2 from my hope, and then 2 from both of you. Thank you. Rolling.
And you rolled a Gandhi.
And a Gandhi with 2 6s. Extraordinary success.
Nice.
It doesn't take long, in fact, for you to find some tracks. And by tracks, I don't necessarily mean like paw prints in the muck. More that axe wound that Sin was able to deal it. You see on some of these little brambles and bushes, little bits of blood, this dark, rich red blood, almost black in some cases, dripping here and there. It's just if this thing was moving at great speed and wasn't moving in a sort of stealthy fashion. And you approach like the edge of what looks like some kind of stream, a little bit more obvious kind of winding of water that empties out into this wet, marshy area. And you see a couple mounds here and there that actually, they're not quite islands, but they're like these big barrows almost in a way. And you see that that redness, that blood trail leads to one of the larger ones. And you see that there is this hole in the side. It's almost like it's an animal warren. And there's all these roots and reeds that are not quite blocking it. You can see they're torn away. You think this creature managed to slip into it. While you're here and you're looking, you do notice, Edda, that there are some scattered things around. You can see what looks like some furs, but they're not like furs of an animal. Furs of like clothing torn up here and there. And you see what looks like some broken strips of like leather maybe on the ground, and you don't see any signs of people, but you do notice that for sure. So there's no one like laying around anywhere, but you do see those.
Do they look really old or?
No, quite fresh, quite new. In fact.
Medwin, these are fresh, new.
It may not be theirs. It does not mean that they're killed either.
But there's someone who needs help. Or is too far gone.
I will stay here. I will watch the entrance. Would one of you wish to go back and gather the others?
I think Acta, what do you think?
Which one of you could make the case better to Sin?
Not
that
me.
Her brother can wait a few more hours.
I can certainly give it a try. I think now that we've seen evidence that there are some other folks here, we don't know who it is. Leave no stone unturned, as it were, as we continue on. But I will do my best.
Okay. So Acta, you're going to try to retrace your steps and then find where CALVAIN and Sin and Arcinius went. So you depart. A few minutes pass. Medwin, Edda, you can both roll awareness tests if you like. as you are lingering outside of this warren hole, this entrance into this swampy mound.
Thankfully, I was favored because I got an Eye of Sauron.
Okay.
Still failed, though.
Look around. It's eerie. It's quiet. You try to listen in to any sounds in the warren itself coming out. And again, it's a very tight hole. It's not like you're walking. You would be crawling in, like an animal would crawl through here. But you don't hear anything. It's very, very quiet. We'll say eventually, Agda, you make it back to the stone, and you remember the bearing that they had taken. And probably about between the time it take you to travel, to find that warren, to come back, come to them, it's probably been an hour. And you find CALVAIN, and you find Sin, and you find Arcinius. They have found this gnarled but large tree atop a small dry area within this marsh. And you can see that Arcinius has been hastily patching folks up. So we can give the two of you the benefits of, so this is CALVAIN and Sin, the benefits of a short rest if you would like.
Recover a number of lost endurance points equal to your strength rating.
Yeah, unless you're wounded, which you're not. So no, got one. Okay. And so yeah, Sin, CALVAIN, Arcinius has been kind of patching, wrapping up the wounds where you got bit. Fortunately, it doesn't seem like there's any lasting damage. Are you trained in healing, Master Elf?
Yes, I've done quite a bit myself.
Well,
I shall heal quite well.
Yes. I know this sounds quite peculiar, but I'm very intrigued by being able to consult with an elf on healing. This, I beg your pardon, Sin, of course, circumstances notwithstanding. But no, yes, you'll be just fine. Yes. Oh, look, there's someone coming.
And you look up and you can see like there's Agda like trudging up.
Are you feeling a bit better?
I'm
Sin?
feeling a lot better.
That's
Specifically, I am feeling from 8 to 14 out of 26 better.
very nice. So I think that means you're not weary anymore because you
I am not.
above.
I'm not. And Sin has very helpfully been saying to CALVAIN or Arcinius that it's just a flesh wound. It's fine.
She's actually correct, it seems. Yes. It looks worse than it really is.
That's
Would you concur, sir?
It's like looking at CALVAIN.
Many that I've seen from her.
Is this a common outcome? You are very lively company, yes.
This is excellent news to hear. I'm glad to see that you're doing a bit better. And Arcinius, that was a great bandage job that you did there.
Oh, this is nothing. I've served in the houses of healing, and I've learned many things. Yes. Fortunately, Gondor's young men and women have suffered far worse fates than this. And I have been there, or I was there, as a younger man. Now is not the time.
Speaking of fates,
Medwin in EDDA?
yes. So, speaking of fates, we did seem to find where we think the big one crawled into, and also found evidence that there's some folks like us that have been staying back there as well. So we think we've got a good lead, perhaps, on where those other Bjornings are. So I was quite hoping that if you'd been able to rest up some, that we could all go and see if we can get those other two. Hope that their fates have been as good as ours have been, and then we can help them in their quest and finish this thing off. And then we can all, in short time there, Sin will be right back on the trail of your brother.
It takes a minute, since obviously weighing a few things in her head. And, but then we'll ultimately say, we should go. It's what Frida would have wanted.
I'm glad of it. I'm very glad to see that you're doing better. And I think if I paid attention to my tracks, and I can backtrack it, and we can catch up with them, and hopefully nothing bad has befallen them during my
trust
travels.
that we do no longer have to look for this creature. We know more or less exactly where we need to go.
Yes, we were able
more
to.
More or less.
Yes.
At least a heading.
You mentioned the blood, and I believe that helped EDDA look for that, and we found where it crawled into as well, so we'll be successful, I do believe.
Let's catch up then. About how far is away?
Okay, so you all, Narcinius, will gather his things, and about an hour later, you catch up to where you see Medwin and EDDA, and in that time, Medwin, nothing has come out of this thing, this warren, nothing has gone in. The mist have swirled. You've felt a shadow on your heart. It's been very eerily quiet, like not even the sounds of an insect, but otherwise, all seems as well as can be as the company rejoins right outside of this gnarled looking open to a warren. What do you want to do?
I sling the shield over my shoulder when I see them coming, before they're even really within talking distance. And I get down on my belly, and I start crawling into this warren.
Medwin, we could
Okay.
we could try to smoke out the warren.
We might smoke out Baron and Grimhild.
You're right.
Hush, they can hear us.
And she'll nod and wave at the rest coming as she will again get down and follow behind Medwin.
Okay.
Well, you just have to stoop.
Yeah.
Oh, we are shorter.
Yeah, the two of you maybe give stealth rolls if you'd like. Try to do this quietly.
I'm so good at these. Yeah, so my spear and my shield are clanking against everything as I'm going.
It is roots and stuff, so at least you're not banking it against stone or whatever.
That is a 10. I needed an 18.
Oh.
I rolled a candy.
Nice.
All I had was a D12.
You're a dwarf. Tunnels
Oh
are
my
nothing.
Gosh.
Not a thing for you.
I live in the dirt.
You're so quiet.
Born by the
to the point
dirt.
where maybe Medwin doesn't even realize that you're behind her. Now, obviously you have to go like one at a time, so I'm not going to require everyone to do this, but I'll say the first two as you guys climb in. And do you have any light sources? Because it gets very dark as you start to push a little further. And it's not a very long tunnel, but there's really no light in here. Does anyone...
Agda has a lantern, so she could have given it to her sister before they went in.
Maybe you pass it in. I had to get it. Okay. And you light it up. You smell something before you see anything, Medwin. It just smells. It almost causes you to gag a little bit in terms of the foulness of it. And as the light shines over top of you from where EDDA is holding this partially hooded lantern, just giving you just enough light to see, you see that this warren opens up, and you can see there's piles and piles of carcasses and bones, and it seems to extend in this semicircle in front of you. And right as you're peering at it, and you kind of lean and look, what you don't see is this warg that had heard you waiting on the side, and it's going to snatch out and try to take a bite out of you. Since you failed your stealth test, it was able to get a moment So I'm going to give that. I'm just going to give it a roll to see if it can hit you, bite you. I'm going to use a bit of its. All right, so I'm going to do this
and
manually.
I specifically said I slung my shield as well.
You did?
So that drops my parry down to 14.
Okay, I'm just going to roll it. All the manual style. All right, that's a 25 to hit.
Oh my gosh.
With one bonus die.
I did have my shield, actually, now that I mention it. It's the 16 you needed.
25 is still a hit.
Don't think it matters.
8 points of damage as your head just sticks out just far enough. And then these fangs just come out from the side and chomp down to the side of your face and just drag you now into the warren itself. You just feel yourself physically pulled inside and flop down onto this soggy mass that you realize now is part swamp water, but blood everywhere. Edda, you get a moment here as you see Edwin literally dragged into the den, and Edda, it didn't necessarily see you as it's turning its back now on you, and it's trying to eat away at Medwin. What would you like to do, Edda, here?
In a panic, honestly, she would attack it.
Okay.
So she'd place the lantern down and just immediately swing at its hind
go right
quarters.
ahead. I'm going to give you, because you passed your stealth, go ahead and you can take, can't remember if this should be a bonus die or favored. So let's just say, let's make it a bonus die. Let's make it a bonus die.
All right. I have to click on the axes because of the combat tracker thing. So I'm just going to
You can roll directly from you should be able to roll from the combat proficiencies list like you would roll a skill without having to target anything. I was doing it before.
It says I can't without the combat tracker.
Okay, just roll a number of dice.
Got it.
So irritating. Sorry. I love the system, but that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just want to roll a die. It doesn't have to be structured.
So I'm going to do axes. I'm going to do a bonus dice, and I'm going to rip it.
Okay. Oh, that's not a great
That's a
roll
failure.
That's even with a bonus dice? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you leap in as best you can. It's a very cramped space, but you're smaller, and so you're probably a little bit more capable of moving
I think
about.
it is the panic of
it's
just him immediately being ripped away from me.
Yeah.
And
he's dragged in, and then like a dog with a bone or with a chew toy, just kind of tossing him around. And Medwin, you're being dragged through this half bog water, half blood. Medwin, what do you do as you're now got this thing on top of you, chewing on you, and it's just like before?
Yeah, I would be trying to essentially get myself away from it, probably with my spear, because that's the only thing I have, just trying to push it away so that I can get out of its jaws or prise myself out of it somehow.
Yeah, you can give me a spear roll, to see if you can just jam it, push it, or stab it, or whatever it might be. It's very injured, so it's pouring blood while it's also chewing on you, but it's still kind of bleeding from the wound it took.
No, that's a failure. 9, because I am weary.
We just established that Agda was the one who passed the lantern forward. So I'm going to say, from the story perspective, Agda is probably on the heels of Edda. So Agda, what do you want to do? As you hear the sounds of panic and pain, what do you do?
So Agda definitely, knowing that her sister went in, she is going to kind of very quickly, kind of crawl in and just kind of try to see if she can locate this thing and charge at it as quickly as she can. Yeah.
You just all fours. It's only a handful of feet to go inside. And then you can see this whirling dervish of your sister swinging wildly without too careful aim. And this giant wolf that's taking up most of the space is just ragdolling Medwin a bit in the mud. There's a little bit of light on the ground. Maybe the lantern fell and it's just kind of floating right now in that bloody water, giving just enough light. And you can see all the carcasses around, animal carcasses, maybe people carcasses. Go ahead and roll an attack if you like.
All right, I am going
And I'll
to
say
do
because
that.
I think there's an outnumbered thing. So like you guys technically outnumber this thing now. So I think you get like if I recall correctly. Is that
I
right?
think
Or am I
it's
thinking Savage
one.
Worlds?
No, let me pull it up.
think
I'll
that's
look
right.
it up.
Yeah. But it is outnumbered. You guys do have it like by 3. So take like a bonus die at the very least, if not 2. But go ahead.
All right, I'll take 1. So I should have 3 d6s on this roll.
Okay.
That is a 17. I didn't get any 6s.
And yeah, go ahead and describe your kill. It did not have much health left. So go ahead and describe what it looks like as you leap in here to finish this thing off.
So Medwin and Edda had gone in with an attempt at stealth, but seeing, kind of the situation here, Agda isn't even necessarily trying to be stealthy. And so she just sort of like yells as she just like races forward. And it's just a very straight sort of like axe raised, run straight forward and just jam this, the axe just down, just center mass.
And you hear this like horrific screeching yelp. And Medwin, you feel the jaws that had chomped down on you release. And then the whole weight of this creature falls on you, kind of pushes you down further into this muck. Some of that dark water and blood like kind of sort of washes over top of you. But you're able, between the 3 of you, to push off the carcass. You can't quite fully stand Medwin. The dwarves, you're probably okay. But Medwin, you're kind of hunched over a bit as you look around. This creature's dead. Doesn't look like there's anything else in here. Any other living wargs in here. I think it was the last. You killed the rest of its pack. But you do all see all of these carcasses. And as you're like getting your breath, you hear help. And you see a hand like reaching out from beneath this mound of like foxes and squirrels and just chunks of unidentifiable plain and forest and swamp games. You see this bloody hand reach up.
Edda will rush to help unearth whoever this is.
Grab the hand.
It's right there
Pull
with
forward.
her.
And so, yeah, Sin, you're climbing in. At this point, it's like becoming very crowded in here. But you're able to pull out.
Baron
Yeah, go ahead.
Grimhild?
Grimhild. And as you pull her free, you can see that she's got this horrible bite on her neck. And as she speaks, like her voice is like disappears from her throat. She's got claw marks and bite marks. You can see her eye is like filled with red. And she is in a horrific way. And then she, as you pull her forward, her other hand, she like points very gingerly. What you see now is like missing a finger. Baron. And pointing behind you, Medwin, to where you see like this pile of like refuse and such.
Okay.
What do you do?
Medwin starts digging through that pile.
You start pushing through, and you eventually come to what looks like a torn, like the torn jerkin of very familiar design that you would see among the Bjornings. And as you pull it in the body that it's currently around free, you notice that the body is limp. You see this muddy, terrible face, and you realize that this is Baron, and he is not living.
And has called for Arcanius to come and help
There's-
with Grimhild.
Too much space. Remember, like this is a Warren, so like it's already way too much
Oh, I
space.
see. Okay.
Sin, help me get Grimhild out. And we'll probably use like a cloak or maybe a couple of cloaks to kind of make something makeshift between us to carry her between. So
There's like
she's
slide
not
her through.
jostled. Yeah, so she's
Okay.
not jostled too much.
You like slide her back. Where like probably CALVAIN and Arcanius are probably at the rear, like by the entrance into the Warren, and maybe the two of you CALVAIN are like taking her out and getting to work on. Oh my
Bring her
goodness!
here, she'll be all right.
Oh my goodness! Oh, CALVAIN, this looks very bad indeed. And like,
Okay.
yeah, the two of you get to work.
Yeah.
Medwin would also pull his cloak off and use it to respectfully cover Baron's body and kind of like wrap it to make it a little bit easier to drag him out, so I could get him out of the warren as well.
Medwin, I will help you. We should not leave his body here.
Thank you. And Medwin is like bloody and bruised and out of breath, so he's really just not his like energetic self, but he is trying to put some work in.
We will do right
So-
by him as best we can.
Yeah, you're all able to get out without any issue. Like, there's no threat any longer, so you're able to pull the body of Baron out, the injured Grimhild out, and CALVAIN, between you and Arcanius, you're able to help her. She is in much worse state than Sin was. She has the equivalent of wounds per se, but with the two of you being both very skilled healers, you're able to keep her alive. But you would know that she's going to need a significant amount of recovery time. So as you...
EDDA. As we're like leaving the warren and she's like helping me pull Baron's body.
Yes?
The head of the Alpha. That is what Baron and Grimhild came for. Grimhild should leave with it.
You have strength left, or would you like me to?
Would you? I'll get Baron out.
Yes, we will do this for him. It will be his triumph, even in death.
Thank you. Thank you.
So gruesomely carve through and free the head. It's already halfway kind of cut from Sin's brutal blow before, and you just finish it off. Kind of wrap it up as best you can. All of you depart from the warren. CALVAIN, give me a healing test, and you get a bonus die, we'll say, for Arcanius to see just how well you're able to patch her up. Is it enough for her to walk, or is it something you kind of have to carry her?
Okay. I am favored. So give me 3d6.
Oh, yeah. He's very, very interested in seeing how you do. You're pulling out various like elvish remedies and poultices. He's asking you all sorts of questions, like here and there, like. But you see, he too is a very skilled healer himself. Like, he seems to anticipate the needs you have here and there. But between the two of you,
and a 1.
yeah, between the two of you, you know that she's not going to be able to walk for quite some time. You can see that one of her legs is broken. You're able to set a splint, but she's going to need to be carried effectively, or dragged. But in the swamp, it's probably not a good idea.
I'll take first shift of carrying her.
You maybe fix some sort of litter to put on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. Arcanius says he could return with her to his home and care for her there, but the river folk won't be waiting for very long. They usually stay at a spot for maybe a week. We might have already missed them if we don't leave and get there. He's like, if we don't leave and get there today, we might not meet them. What say you?
We must go. We promised Sin we would.
We should, and they might be able to return her home.
Perhaps.
Maybe we can buy her passage.
Yes.
Yes. So we see the 5 of you and Arcanius, and we see maybe EDDA carrying the injured body.
There's a very grateful smile to all of them.
And we see Sin carrying like the body of Grimhild. We see maybe Medwin is bearing the body of Baron. And you guys trudge through this darkening swamp. And it's hours. And it's wet. And it's hard travel. But eventually, as you kind of emerge from this misty terrain. The sun has fallen to the west behind the misty mountains. You're moving in darkness for about a half an hour or so, lanterns out, torches out. And then as you crest over top of a hill, you again hear the sounds of the running Anduin. And you see up ahead a series of lanterns, intense, as there along the side of the river is this beacon of light in an otherwise very dark riverbank. And we're going to go ahead and end it there, and we'll pick up on that next time.
Yay!
Awesome.
All right,
We
guys.
found them.
Struggled through that combat, but we got it. We're good. We're good.
We got
All
it.
right.
So
We're big
good.
damn heroes.
So good.
Big damn heroes.
Just a little
Yeah.
technical difficulties. That's fine.
It's all good. It's an
Yeah.
awesome system. It's just sometimes like there's like little things that you have to
Yeah, I mean,
remember.
we
Yeah.
actually did pretty good with the rules.
I think we did all right.
Like, we did the
Yeah.
rules all right. It was
Yeah.
just the Foundry
what?
not wanting to back us up.
Comment below and tell us how well we did on the rules. Those are some of our favorite comments.
Amazingly
Really,
well.
those are the
Yeah,
best.
make sure you're so angry
Nice.
because those are the ones we love the most.
We love
If it's
technical
if it's been
corrections.
4 years since I posted this video, you should also post a comment as if it's an ongoing discussion that's been going on. Like it's a Reddit thread. You should do that too. That'd be great.
You cannot give a rules correction until 3 years after the campaign has ended. That is the
That's
rule
just
of
how
YouTube.
YouTube
that
works.
is the rule.
That's just how YouTube works.
Yeah,
We don't make
yeah.
up the algorithm rules.
No, it
All
just no, it's unflinching.
But thank you for watching.
All right, let's do some quick plugs to get out of here. Maitre, where can we find you on the internet?
My team plays games on YouTube where I make system agnostic or multi-system tabletop content that centers the human playing experience.
Awesome. Steven, you got a game. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I made a Weird West action horror game. It's called Huckleberry. Go to huckleberryrpg.com and use code LOLLY to get $5 off to pre-order.
Phenomenal. As for us, streaming schedule, next game up should probably be Monday, where we're doing some We're in Danger. This is a game that I've been making for a little bit. Tuesday, we should be back to Wild Sea, where Kipser runs us through that. Next Thursday, we got some Coriolis, The Great Dark, as we're playing through the Flowers of Algorib campaign. And and later this month, we're going to be playing through some Orbital Blues for a special little one-shot as well. And then there's one little more announcement we quite haven't made, and I'm not ready to make it yet. So, haha. All right, that's it for us. I'm going to raid somebody in a second. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us if you were in Twitch chat. And if you're watching this later, we appreciate that too. So, see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.